Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Naruto, Hashirama's son, the new god of ninja world. Chapter 81. Her Mangekyo Sharingan was very strange, and there was a leaf inside the pupil, which looked very strange. My eyes. Uchiha Jing felt that she had changed, and instantly felt incredible. Uchiha Jing, why are you blocking the door? We still need to go out. The people behind wanted to leave the classroom, and saw Uchiha Jing blocking the door, and asked with some confusion. Oh, no, sorry. Uchiha Jing instantly closed the Mangekyo Sharingan, quickly made way, and apologized. Come out. After hearing Uchiha Jing's voice, Senju Fujima quickly turned around and looked at her with a gentle smile. Fujima-kun, are you back? Originally, Uchiha Jing also wanted to rush over quickly, but her personality did not allow her to do so. She stayed at the door for a while before she saw Tikui and Senju Fujima, so she stopped. Now seeing Senju Fujima greeting him, he quickly said gently, his face slightly red, and glanced at Tikui intentionally or unintentionally. It seemed to warn her not to get close to her husband. My little Jingjing, your husband is back. Senju Fujima saw the cute Uchiha Jing in front of him, the corner of his mouth slightly raised, and quickly reached out to grab her little hand, and used Flying Thunder God to disappear on the spot. So she is Fujima-kun's fiancé. Uchiha clan, you not only killed my whole family, but also killed my mother. Now you want this little girl from the Uchiha clan to take away the person I like. I will definitely make you pay a heavy price, I will definitely make you pay the price. Why do you want to take away the things that are important to me? Why? Taikui was furious, his eyes were full of murderous intent, and he ran out of the school with his face covered. Unconsciously, Taikui's eyes slowly showed the Sharingan, with huge anger, thinking of the past, and the death of his mother, and now thinking of the person he liked being taken away, the evil dark power in his mind became stronger and stronger. In an instant, Taikui directly changed from the newly awakened one Magatama Sharingan. The Magatama quickly rotated, and finally turned into a more scarlet and weird Mangekyo Sharingan. Tikui's Sharingan is also different from other Sharingans. A miniature samurai sword appears in his eyes, which is very strange. Woo. Mom, I thought I was happy, but happiness came too quickly and went too quickly. I know I don't deserve him, but when I see him with another woman, my heart hurts so much. Why was I born with pain? Why? Woo. Mom, what should I do? Unknowingly, Tikui had already run out of the Konoha barrier and knelt on the ground under an unknown tree, crying bitterly, without noticing any changes in himself. This girl, Mangekyo Sharingan, yes, maybe. What's going on these days? Are Mangekyo Sharingan becoming widespread? And why does she have the aura of Indra, and it's so strong? Could it be that she is also the reincarnation of Indra's chakra? Good. During this period, Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara have been in the village almost all the time, and I haven't seen them come out. It's not bad that a girl comes out now. Swish. At this time, a black shadow emerged from the tree branch next to Tikui. After seeing her changes, he was instantly shocked, and then laughed sinisterly a few times. Originally, he wanted to use words to persuade Uchiha Madara to fight with Uchiha Madara, and then get the cell fusion of Senju Hashirama, and use it to awaken the Samsara Eye. But recently Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama have not left the village at all, so he can't rush in. Now that another chess piece has been found, it is naturally the best. We can abandon them and use this chess piece temporarily. The reincarnation of Indra and Ashura is not the reincarnation of souls. They are reincarnated with chakra as energy body, so Indra or Ashura's chakra will exist in many people's bodies, just a little more or less. Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama will die one day. At that time, it will be very simple to cultivate a pair of reincarnation eyes by taking their cells. It will be enough to change it directly for this girl, Then a wicked smile flashed in Black Zetsu's eyes, and the whole person merged into the tree. Black Zetsu has been wandering outside the Konoha village, just to observe Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama, but Uchiha Madara always uses Flying Thunder God when traveling, so Black Zetsu thought that both of them stayed in the village. Little girl, why are you sad? Soon, Black Zetsu possessed a little rabbit, but this rabbit was not an ordinary rabbit, but a standing rabbit, about 40 centimeters tall, holding a carrot in his hand, hopping to Tikui's side, and asked with some concern. Woo woo woo. Ha, little rabbit. After hearing the voice, Tikui looked around, but didn't see anything, only a little rabbit, and asked with some confusion. I'm not an ordinary rabbit, I'm the summoning beast stupid rabbit, I saw that you are very sad, and I want to help you. Quote. The little rabbit jumped directly onto Tikui's shoulder and spoke slowly. Stupid rabbit, Poochie. Little rabbit, you are so cute. Thank you, but you can't solve my problem. After hearing what stupid rabbit said, Tikui laughed out loud. It was the first time she saw such a cute rabbit. She took it off her shoulder and held it in her arms. I just heard it. Did the Uchiha clan kill your whole family and then take away your beloved? I know a secret. As long as you can achieve it, you can revive your former family, including your mother. You can also let your beloved be with you forever, and you will never leave. Stupid rabbit looked at Tikui and stretched out the right rabbit hand to scratch his head, and said very cutely. What secret? Quote, Tikui is not such a smart person now. When he heard what Benbentu said, a trace of desire flashed through his heart, and he asked in surprise. She continued with this special ability, was able to revive her family, and was able to be with Senju Fujima, which was what she most desired. And Black Zetsu started from this aspect, not to mention that Tikui was in the saddest stage and was most likely to trust others. Even a super strong man like Uchiha Madara would be fooled by Black Zetsu, not to mention that Tikui, who was so young, was deceived by him in minutes. I see that you have also awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan, which is the supreme eye of the Uchiha clan. But this is not enough, because these eyes will become blind if used too much. If you want to use it permanently, you need one more thing, that is the blood of Senju Hashirama or Senju Fujima. As long as you can get the blood of one of them, you can use the Mangekyo Sharingan unlimited times. In this way, you don't have to worry about going blind, and it will also enhance the power of your pupil technique. Seeing Tikui's urgent expression, a smile flashed in his eyes, and he said quickly. Mangekyo Sharingan, you mean me? Ha, my eyes. I didn't even notice it just now. I didn't expect that I actually awakened the legendary Mangekyo Sharingan. Isn't this the most powerful eye technique of the Uchiha clan? At that time, I heard my mother say that only 2 people in the Uchiha clan awakened, that is, Uchiha Madara and his brother. I didn't expect that I could awaken too. When Tikui heard Benben say this, he instantly felt incredible. He felt the eye technique and the ability in his mind, and a smile flashed in his eyes. That's right, you are only at the most basic stage of the Mangekyo now. If you use it too much, you will go blind. Therefore, you must have the blood of one of Hashirama Senju and Fujima Senju, and fuse them with your heart. This way you don't have to worry about going blind, and you can awaken the Samsara Eye in the future. The Samsara Eye is the divine eye left by the Six-Path Sage when he created the world. It has unpredictable powers. Not only can it revive the dead, but it can also change people's wills. When the time comes, you only need to have the Samsara Eye, and then absorb the chakra of the tailed beasts, and you will be able to gain unprecedented power. When the time comes, you will be able to revive your family, and you will be able to let your lover accompany you forever and love only you. Benben Rabbit looked at Tikui seriously and said that he wanted to trick her into getting the cells of Fujima Senju, so that he could help Tikui get more powerful power. He wanted Tikui to replace Uchiha Madara and become the sacrifice to revive his mother. Really, Rinnegan, Six-Path Sage. I have never heard of this person, nor have I heard of such eyes. Does such eyes really exist? If I get the Rinnegan, can I really revive my family and stay with Fujima? Iron Aoi heard a shocking news, which made her mind flash with endless joy. Yes, she was moved by what Black Zetsu said. Of course, this is the secret that our stupid rabbit family has guarded for generations. But I saw you so sad, and you have the Mangekyo Sharingan, so I told you this secret. You will only be useful if you can really do what I said, otherwise you can only face reality. Facing the death of all your family members, facing your lover being with someone else, and marrying and having children with someone else. And in the end you are still just an orphan, or a silly girl who no one loves. When Stupid Rabbit heard Tikui ask this, she nodded and said, and did not forget to rub salt into her wounds, with a wicked smile flashing in her deep eyes. But now Tikwewa, who is still relatively innocent, did not notice this at all, and even if she noticed it, she would not think too much. After all, she has nothing, why should others deceive her? Thank you. I will definitely do it. Thank you, stupid rabbit. Can you be my summoning beast? I can summon you anytime I need you in the future. After hearing what Black Zetsu said, Taikui felt heartbroken. A trace of determination flashed in his eyes. He secretly made up his mind to do this. He also invited Stupid Rabbit to be his summoning beast. No, our Stupid Rabbit is a little special and cannot sign a summoning contract. But I can stay by your side. Let me tell you first, I don't have much fighting power and I may be a burden to you. Are you sure you want to take me with you? Stupid Rabbit tilted his head. Looking at Tikui, he asked calmly. Can't communicate with spirits. It doesn't matter, then you can just follow me in the future. It doesn't matter if you don't have the strength, I will protect you in the future, hee. Thank you, Stupid Rabbit. Tikui was very happy to hear that Stupid Rabbit agreed to stay by his side, and he quickly held him up and smiled. Okay then, since you agree, I have no objection. Stupid Rabbit spread his hands and said indifferently. Hee, then let's go back first. Tikui squinted and smiled, and the unhappiness just now disappeared without a trace. Because she believed in what Stupid Rabbit said, she felt that as long as she worked hard, her lover and family would always be by her side. Tikui's samurai sword kaleidoscope opened, and the two people became a little illusory in an instant, and disappeared in an instant. Is it a combination of illusion and reality? What a powerful eye technique. It is somewhat similar to the effect of Izanagi of the Uchiha clan. The Mangekyo is a reflection of the soul, so is it also a reflection of escaping from reality? If you want to escape from reality, then just combine illusion and reality to achieve your goal of escape. It is really a very practical technique, hee. Black Zetsu saw that Tikui disappeared instantly and took him into Konoha village without causing any reaction from the Konoha barrier. A trace of surprise and joy flashed in his eyes. Fujima-kun, when did you come back? I haven't seen you for a long time. I'm a little uncomfortable with you not being here. Uchiha Jing and the others had already arrived in the forest, sitting by the stream, watching Senju Fujima squinting and smiling. The more he spoke, the lower his voice became, and only he could hear it. I came back yesterday, but I was so tired that I fell asleep. I came to school to find you when I woke up in the morning. Senju Fujima said while holding Uchiha Jing's hand. You must be very tired outside, right? Uchiha Jing heard that Senju Fujima was so tired outside, and asked with a distressed look. No, I was just a little tired yesterday, it's okay. During this period when your husband is away, have you studied ninjutsu seriously? Senju Fujima looked at Uchiha Jing, a trace of tenderness flashed across his face, and he reached out and stroked her hair. Well, I have been practicing. I have learned the family's fire escape and the lightning escape taught by Fujima-kun, but I haven't practiced the Rasengan taught by Fujima-kun. I practiced it a few times, but my hands hurt, so I stopped practicing. Fujima-kun, is Jinger useless? Uchiha Jing looked at Senju Fujima, a trace of grievance flashed in her eyes, and tears instantly rolled in her eyes. Maybe she felt sorry for Senju Fujima's guidance, sorry that he provided her with such a good ninjutsu, but she didn't stick to it. Silly, of course you have to stop if your hand hurts. Otherwise I'll feel bad if you get hurt. Show me where you're hurt. It's the same if you've learned lightning release. Reikiri and other lightning releases are not much worse than Rasengan. You're already great to be able to learn all the lightning releases. How can our Jinger be useless? Our Jinger is a genius. Senju Fujima stretched out his hand and scratched Uchiha Jing's straight nose, squinting and smiling. Then he stretched out his hand and grabbed Uchiha Jing, and saw that it was covered with scars. Senju Fujima looked distressed. Obviously, he had worked hard during this period, but he still hadn't learned it. I'll treat you. Senju Fujima's right hand directly emerged with green chakra, and he used the palm fairy technique to continuously treat Uchiha Jing. The scars on his hands were slowly repaired, and soon recovered as before, showing the original delicate skin. Although the Rasengan is a non-sequence ninjutsu, it seems very simple, but the control of chakra needs to be very precise, otherwise it can't be learned at all. Moreover, the damage to the hands is still very large during the learning process. If you keep practicing, you may directly practice your hands. However, Uchiha Jing was able to learn all the lightning escapes, which also surprised Senju Fujima. After all, the two pillars have practiced for a long time, but Uchiha Jing has only practiced for about a week, and he has learned all the lightning cuts and extensions that he taught him. His talent and strength are still very strong. Thank you Fujima-kun. Uchiha Jing was held by Senju Fujima, and when he used medical ninjutsu, he felt a tingling sensation on his hands, his face flushed, and he lowered his head and muttered shyly. Silly, why are you being polite to your husband? Senju Fujima looked at Uchiha Jing and smiled slightly. It's time to go back to class. Tomorrow is the graduation test. Are you ready? After an unknown amount of time, Senju Fujima looked at Uchiha Shizuka and smiled. Yeah, there will be no problem. Uchiha Shizuka's face was ruddy, and she smiled at Senju Fujima with narrowed eyes. Then let's go. Senju Fujima looked at Uchiha Shizuka and smiled slightly, and then took her directly back to the ninja school. Just now, after Senju Fujima healed the wounds on Uchiha Shizuka's hands, the two stayed in the forest for about half an hour, and no one knew what they did. Anyway, when the two left, there was an extra house in the original place, and there was also an extra small stool and a small coffee table at the door, which was probably just enough for the nine-tailed fox to sit on, and there was also a wooden plate and some meatball skewers on it. Did you see it just now? What did you see? If you have something to say, just tell me. You are being so mysterious that I don't want to pay attention to you. Just now I saw the first generation holding a girl and flying over our heads. What? Did you see it wrong? How could the first generation fly over the roof with a girl? Are you crazy? What? I saw it clearly. I must not remember the first generation Hokage wrongly. Then tell me what that woman looks like and who she is from. You are so idle that I don't want to pay attention to you. Hey, you still don't believe it? I don't want to pay attention to you either. I'll tell others. Because Uchiha Madara was holding Yuhika and taking him back, some villagers happened to see him. The result can be imagined. The neighbors, big and small, spread the news from 1 to 10, 10 to 100, and in an instant, there was no one in Konoha who didn't know. Ha 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 ha. Tobarama, what did you say? Ban picked up girls. Did I hear that right? An old-fashioned man like him can pick up girls. Ha ha ha, I'm dying of laughter, let me laugh for a while, I can't hold it back, ha ha ha. When Tobarama Senju told Hashirama Senju about Uchiha Madara's flirting with girls, Hashirama Senju burst into laughter and almost cried. In his impression, Uchiha Madara was not the type to fall in love. It was hard to imagine such an old-fashioned and shy man falling in love. Although Uchiha Madara is a tough guy, he is a very shy and timid man, and of course he can be very tough when he is tough. This is true, I saw it just now, the girl he was holding was none other than Yuhika from the Yuhi family. His brother Yuhihara Tuma is the captain of the route. So I am quite familiar with her, and have met her several times. Seeing that Hashirama Senju didn't believe him, Tobarama Senju spread his hands helplessly. Yuhika, PFF'd. This kid, Madara, actually wants to marry someone from another family. Quote. But the illusion of the Yuhi family is still very powerful, even more powerful than that of the Uchiha family. Madara is not young anymore, it's time for him to get married. Our son can help with cooking, but he hasn't gotten married yet. Hashirama Senju believed what Tobarama Senju said, after all, his brother's words were more credible. Both his son and Tobarama Senju's son are so old, but he still hasn't had a baby. Because of what Hashirama Senju said, Tobarama Senju fell silent instantly, and a trace of inexplicable pain flashed in his eyes. Ah, Tobarama, I don't mean that. Hashirama Senju noticed Tobarama Senju's expression and comforted him quickly. I know, big brother, don't explain. I will solve the problem of the little monkey myself. Shizuka actually wants the little monkey to come back, but since we have already adopted it out. Quote. Then there is no reason to take it back. We, the Senju clan, still have to keep our promise. Senju Tobarama shook his head helplessly and let's talk about this matter later. Alas, what happened back then was a task assigned by Uchiha Tajima, and the Uchiha clan cannot be blamed entirely. Didn't our father do the same thing back then? Madara and I originally wanted to build peace. But in the end, father led you to kill Madara, and Uchiha Tajima had the same idea. Uchiha Tajima is the culprit of everything, and it is also the law of this world. So I want to change the law of this world and make it more kind. Hashirama Senju reached out and patted Tobirama Senju's shoulder, and said after a long sigh. I know, it's also my own fault. I wish I had discovered it earlier. We should have thought of this when we got married. Okay, big brother, let's not talk about these sad things. These are the information collected by our routes. The forces and routes of the 4 countries this time. And the approximate time is all above. Ban should have received the news soon. You two can discuss it next. Senju Tobirama shook his head, a trace of self-blame flashed in his eyes, but he didn't talk about it in depth, and quickly changed the topic. Well, I know. Go down first. Senju Hashiraka took the information in his hand, reached out and patted Senju Tobirama on the shoulder, then sat on the desk and started to check. And Senju Tobirama disappeared instantly. Okay, let's go to class. My husband has something to do, so let the clone go to take his place. After Senju Fujima brought Uchiha Jing back to school, he created a shadow clone and asked her to go in with the clone. He had other things to do. Yeah, Uchiha Jing blushed slightly, nodded, and walked into the school. Yakamine, leave a shadow clone to teach. I'll go to the school gate, and I'll wait for you. After Senju Fujima's shadow clone came to the classroom, he came directly to Yakamine and said. Yes, Master Fujima. Yakamine stood up quickly, and then created a shadow clone. The real body left the classroom and came directly to the school gate. Your subordinate greets Master Fujima. When Yakamine came out, he saw Senju Fujima and bowed quickly. Well, get up, come with me, I'll take you to a place. When Senju Fujima saw Yakamine coming out, his mouth corners slightly raised, and then he stretched out his hand and patted his shoulder. Yes, Master Fujima, Yakamine said respectfully. Then Senju Fujima took Yakamine directly out of the school gate and instantly appeared in his secret base. Senju Fujima had prepared this secret base for himself earlier, and now it can be used by Yakamine. After all, as the father of Ant Snake, his research ability must be good. This, Master Fujima, where is this? Yakamine saw the countless research instruments in front of him, and instantly felt incredible, and a trace of ecstasy flashed in his eyes. This is a secret base prepared for you. You will do research in it from now on. First, I will give you a task, which is to cultivate a new tailed beast from the 9 tails. This is the 9 tails cells. Keep them, use the cells in it well. I want you to cultivate a new 9 tails as soon as possible. There are also some research results and methods in it. You can take a look. Senju Fujima took out a bottle of special liquid, which was full of 9 tails cells. It can be directly extracted for research. And after he became a system, he could not directly exchange for the Rinnegan and other abilities that surpass ninjutsu. But there are still some in the research results of Orochimaru. In the scroll taken out, all the research results of Orochimaru, including the research results of Orochimaru, are all in it. Except for the undead turning technique and the artificial human technology, Senju Fujima handed over almost all other research results to him. Even the cloning technology is in it, but he will be checked by Senju Fujima and will not let him do anything tricky. I just hope that he can complete the research as soon as possible, so that he won't need to use the original tailed beast to become the 10 tails Jinchuriki. Research a new tailed beast. Hiss. Yakamine was shocked by Senju Fujima's purpose and took a breath of cold air instantly, but he still had some expectations in his heart, and quickly reached out to take the scroll. He had seen the power of the 9 tails before. Although it was subdued by the 2 first-generation adults, the horror of the 9 tails had always been in his mind, in his heart. Now that he heard the task given to him by Senju Fujima, he was ready to go all out. Yes, Master Fujima. Fang will definitely complete the task. Yakamine hurriedly bowed to Senju Fujima, with a hint of determination in his eyes. Well, very good. Just tell me if you need anything. My shadow clone will stay here in the future, just call him if you have anything. Senju Fujima casually split a shadow clone, looked at Yakamine and nodded. Yes, Master Fujima. Yakamine nodded quickly. Well, Then Senju Fujima disappeared directly in the secret base, leaving only his shadow clone to guard and follow up on the progress of Yakumine's mission. Ant Snake can use the cells of the Eight Tails to cultivate one of the Eight Tails' horns. I believe his father can also have this ability. As long as the cultivation is successful, the other eight-tailed beasts will be easier to copy. Yakumine, Yakumine, don't let me down. Ha ha ha. Senju Fujima walked out of the secret base with a slight smile on his face, and he still admired Ant Snake's ability. Actually, Ant Snake is the only crazy scientist who can directly resurrect people. You just need to use the impure world reincarnation technique to directly use the cloned body to summon the soul of the person you want to resurrect. Then use the undying corpse transformation technique to directly let him transfer the soul into the cloned body prepared in advance. Although this will cause some damage to the soul, it is negligible compared to being able to regain a new life. And the reason why the undying corpse transformation technique consumes soul power is because Ant Snake's replacement body is not her own body. So you need to fight with the opponent's original soul, which is a kind of consumption. But if you use the cells of your original body to clone your own body, this situation will not occur. This is simply a miracle. The biggest bug is not the Samsara Eye, but Ant Snake herself. I have to admire the power of his science and technology. I wonder if I will scare my dad to death if I use this method to revive my grandpa. Besides, I don't need sacrifices to summon the dead, I just need some DNA. Ha ha ha. Senju Fujima suddenly thought that Ant Snake was really powerful. The power of technology has become perfect in her hands. She is simply a monster that can't die. Suddenly thinking of this, he wanted to revive his grandpa a little bit. He wanted to see the expression of Senju Hashirama at that time. Forget it, grandpa is a scary shit. If he comes back to life, he will have to fight again. Let him stay in the underworld. Then Senju Fujima thought that his grandpa, this old stubborn man, would definitely cause trouble for the Uchiha clan if he was resurrected. Are you back? I heard that you went to pick up girls. In the Hokage's office, Uchiha Madara walked into the office, and Senju Hashirama quickly raised his head and smiled at him. What? How is it possible? Do you think I'm in love? It's inexplicable. When Uchiha Madara heard Senju Hashirama ask this, he blushed for once and quickly argued. Tisk, you still want to hide it? Go outside and listen. The whole Konoha has spread it all over. You're holding Yuhika from the Yuhi family and flying all over the sky. It would be strange if no one saw you. Senju Hashirama saw that Uchiha Madara didn't admit it. He curled his lips and pointed out the window. After hearing what Senju Hashirama said, Uchiha Madara frowned instantly. He quickly flashed to the window and looked at the scene outside. Have you heard? The first Hokage is flying around Konoha with the little girl of the Yuhi family in his arms. They are in love. Really, it's really a strange news. I thought the first Hokage looked cold and didn't like women. How is it possible? It's a man's nature. How could he not like women? He's not a waste. How could he not like women? That's right. The first Hokage is so powerful, but he just looked down on others before. This person from the Yuhi family is so lucky. He can actually get close to the first Hokage. This is equivalent to getting close to the Uchiha clan. Hush, what are you talking about? It's fine as long as the first Hokage likes it. What are you talking about? Uchiha Madara stood by the window and heard the streets and alleys all promoting his glorious deeds. His face turned red instantly. Humph. Then Uchiha Madara snorted coldly. He was holding a little girl and was discovered by the whole village. This village is really too cowardly. Ha ha ha. You're making me laugh to death. Madara, when are you going to get married? Let me tell you, my son already has a wife, and your son hasn't even been born yet. Senju Hashirama was very curious, and quickly walked in front of Uchiha Madara, winking and asking. What the hell does it have to do with you? It's none of your business if I get married tomorrow. Uchiha Madara curled his lips and blushed. Getting married tomorrow? How can that be in time? Then I have to prepare for you. Bunder, you are too impatient, aren't you? Your marriage is a big event in the village, how can you be careless? Let me help you find a date. Generally, it should be at least a week in advance. That way you can be prepared. But we are about to go to war, it is definitely too late for you to prepare now. Then set it for a month later, what do you think? Hee. When Hashirama Senju heard that Uchiha Madara said he would get married tomorrow, he hurriedly said that it was too fast, and there was really no time to prepare. After all, Uchiha Madara was the Hokage in the village, and his marriage must be very grand, so that he could show his status as Hokage. But they were about to go to war, so this matter still needed to be postponed. Otherwise, it would be impossible for them to get married during the war. Tisk. I didn't say that. Uchiha Madara curled his lips, turned his head and said lightly. If you don't say it, then I'll take it as your agreement. By the way, you've also seen the attack routes and manpower of the 4 major ninja villages, right? How do you think it should be solved? Senju Hashirama saw that Uchiha Madara didn't answer the question, so he took it as his tacit agreement, then changed the subject, looked at him and asked. Yeah, this time we are going to train the next generation of combat power. Although I want to give them peace, they will definitely need to go on missions in the future. As long as they go on missions, there will be casualties. So no, they can live too comfortably. This time, let all the children in the school graduate early and directly support the battlefield. On the battlefield, I plan to let Izuna and my clone go to block the Hidden Rock Village. Then I will deal with the Hidden Cloud Village myself. Tobarama's water escape is most suitable for dealing with the Hidden Mist Village, while Fujima and Sarutobi Sasuke will deal with the Hidden Sand Village. You stay in Konoha and watch. If there is any place that needs support, you can arrange for people in the village to go to support. What do you think? After all, the environment of the Hidden Sand Village is harsh, and Fujima's wood escape should be able to play the greatest effect there. And the village can't be without someone to command, so I plan to leave you behind. Uchiha Madara said what he thought in his heart, and planned to leave Hashirama Senju in the village to protect Konoha. After all, Konoha is their home nest, and they can't let others take advantage of it. So you just want me to stay in the village? No, I want to go to the battlefield. Quote. Just leave a clone in the village. Besides, Mito is still here. Mito is very powerful. After I have the 8 tails, I have to be careful to deal with him. Especially the sealing technique, every move is fatal. I will be sealed if I am not careful. Hashirama Senju shook his head repeatedly and disagreed with this plan. He felt that he also had to go out to fight, so what was the point of staying in the village? Tisk, you are a henpecked husband, how can you not be sealed by your wife? If it were me, your wife would not even have a chance to fight. Uchiha Madara curled his lips, and a hint of teasing flashed in his eyes. Ah, is that so? I am the clan leader, the head of the family, how can I be a henpecked husband? Mito is really strong. Hashirama Senju heard Uchiha Madara's ridicule and said awkwardly. Ha ha ha, okay. Quote, then I and Izuna will attack the Hidden Rock Village, and the wreckage will be left to you. The other plans remain unchanged, what do you think? I'm afraid that unknown person will hurt Izuna, so it's better to protect him closely. Otherwise I'll be worried. Uchiha Madara laughed at Hashirama Senju, but when he mentioned Uchiha Izuna, a trace of worry flashed in his eyes. Well, no problem, that's it. Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara reached an agreement. Both of them would go to the battle, leaving only the shadow clones to guard at home. How is it? Have the departure times of other villages been determined? Retsu asked Shaman beside him. Shodai-sama, it has been basically determined. In 3 days, the other 3 major ninja villages will also be ready. As soon as the army is assembled, we will prepare to attack Konoha. But, Shodai-sama, are we really going to attack Konoha? I'm still a little worried. Konoha has the Senju clan and the Uchiha clan. Can we really defeat them? Shaman quickly informed Retsu of the situation, but he was very worried in his heart. He didn't think that the combination of the 4 major ninja villages could defeat Konoha. On the contrary, he felt that this would anger Konoha, and it would be really miserable if they lost. Not only were there a lot of casualties, but also a huge amount of war compensation needed to be paid. He already had that scene in his mind, which made him feel helpless. But Retsu couldn't get in at all, which made him even more anxious. Shaman, what are you afraid of? Our 4 ninja villages besieged Konoha's 1 ninja village. Do you think they still have a chance to win? What a joke. Even if Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama are strong, what about the others? We have 4 battlefields. Can the two of them take care of all 4 battlefields at the same time? It's simply nonsense. Okay, no more talking. Reorganize the troops and send all the ninjas who have just become genin. How can you see the rainbow without going through the wind and rain? We can't let only our generation be strong. The next generation must also be strong, otherwise they can only be beaten passively. Retsu heard Shaman boosting others' ambitions and destroying his prestige, and he was instantly furious. He didn't want to say anything more, and directly ordered him to reorganize the troops. Yes, Master Shodai. Shaman had no choice but to leave the office and go to issue orders. Humph, this is simply outrageous. Do you think I am worse than Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama? I want to see what you two most powerful family heads can do. Are you really worthy of your own titles? After Shaman left, Rito snorted coldly. He was still very confident in his own strength. But hearing that his capable subordinates felt that this battle was likely to be lost made him furious. Isn't this obviously a slap in his face? The Sand Village is ready, and other ninja villages are naturally almost ready. They just need to gather their armies. The first Raikage was even more angry because he felt embarrassed when he was whipped away by the two-tail controlled by Uchiha Madara. He vowed to destroy Konoha to eliminate the hatred in his heart. The entire ninja world suddenly became unusually calm, making all the small countries and ninja villages on the border of the ninja village feel a sense of impending storm. When rumors spread from the outside world, Konoha also ushered in the first graduation exam of Konoha Ninja School today. Because they will go to the battlefield in 2 days, their school prepared the graduation test in advance. The content of the graduation test is very simple, divided into 6 assessment items. The first assessment item, substitution technique. Why assess substitution technique? That is, on the battlefield, being able to save your life is the most important thing. If you learn substitution technique well, your mortality rate will be very low. If the mortality rate is low, then your probability of killing the enemy will increase. The second assessment item, illusion removal. Illusions are not common in the ninja world. The best illusionists are almost all in Konoha village, but it is not ruled out that there are illusion masters in other ninja villages. So the assessment of illusion removal is naturally indispensable. The third assessment item, physical skills. Why is it physical skills? Because Uchiha Madara thinks that if physical skills are not strong, even if your ninjutsu is strong, it will be useless. Because before you can react, you will be directly okay by the enemy, so what is the use of your so-called powerful ninjutsu? What's more, there is Sand Village this time. The monks of Sand Village invented the puppet technique, which is already famous all over the world. But the most powerful way to deal with the puppet technique is physical skills. They don't know what battlefield they will be sent to, so physical skills are indispensable. The fourth assessment item, the speed of seal. The speed of seal depends on whether you can use the ninjutsu faster than others. You and the enemy use the same ninjutsu, but the speed of forming hand seals of ninjutsu is 1 second faster than others, even a little bit, will eventually become the possibility of you winning this battle. The fifth assessment item, ninjutsu. Everyone must be able to use at least 5 ninjutsu, otherwise the assessment will fail. Among the 5 ninjutsu, at least one of them must be B-level ninjutsu, and there is no restriction on the attributes of ninjutsu. The sixth assessment item, teamwork ability. 3 people are randomly selected to form a team to fight against a Konoha Jonin. As long as they can hold out for a stick of incense under the attack of the Jonin, then they will pass. These rules were agreed upon by Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama, not the simple graduation ninjutsu that came later. After all, they are now selecting ninjas who can go to the battlefield and have a high survival rate, not those genin cannon fodder. Moreover, these people are almost all genius teenagers from major families. It is not a problem for 3 people to unite to deal with a Jonin and hold out for a stick of incense. If there is a problem, then eliminate them and continue to study in school. After all, with such strength, they would be cannon fodder on the battlefield. It would be better for them to stay in school and do nothing but practice. Now I declare that the graduation test has officially begun. When Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama stood on the high platform of the school field and shouted, the test officially began. The first test is the substitution technique. Everyone who has reported their name, please come up. The first one is Uchiha Kagami, the second one is Uchiha Shizuka, the third one is Maija, and the fourth one is Hyuga Aku. Soon, the test officially began, and the referee of the first assessment this time was Irati. He looked at the list in his hand and read out the names one by one in an instant. The first one was Uchiha Kagami, a genius boy of the Uchiha clan, and the second one was still from the Uchiha clan, Senju Fujima's fiancé. Yes, Uchiha Kagami had short hair and looked very quiet. He looked harmless and hurried to the middle of the school field. The entire training ground is divided into 10 test circles, and 10 groups of people are tested at the same time, so that the progress can be improved. Uchiha Jing, you are facing a senior ninja from Konoha village, I hope you can go all out. He will not show mercy when he attacks, although he will avoid your vital points, but if you don't deal with it carefully, you will inevitably get hurt. The time is a quarter of an hour, I hope you can hold on. Irati looked at Uchiha Jing who was on the field in front of him and said hurriedly. They were fighting for real this time, but Uchiha Jing could only use the substitution technique to dodge, and could not fight, and could only rely on the substitution technique to dodge. Yes, Teacher Irati, I will definitely go all out. Uchiha Jing instantly opened the 2 Magatama and stared at the Konoha senior ninja in front of him. You must know that Uchiha Jing is only 8 years old now, and he can actually open the double Magatama Sharingan. It must be said that he deserves the name of a genius. Begin. Instantly, the battles on the 10 battlefields began with Irati's shout. Ban, this Uchiha Kagami is quite powerful. At such a young age, he has opened the double Magatama Sharingan. If we really have to fight against a Jonin on the battlefield, although it is still a little lacking, at least we can save our lives. Hashirama Senju looked at the Uchiha Kagami in front of him, and a hint of admiration flashed in his eyes. Well, at this age, he is considered a rare genius in the family. It is still unknown what kind of achievements he can achieve in the future. Uchiha Madara nodded slightly, and a hint of pride flashed in his eyes. After all, he is a genius of their Uchiha clan, and his mouth curled up slightly. Swish, swish, swish. Instantly, the Konoha Jonin swung the kunai in his hand and shot it directly at Uchiha Kagami. Substitution technique. Bang, tat, tat. The kunai swung by the Jonin was very fast, but Uchiha Kagami's eyes started to move instantly, constantly capturing the trajectory of the kunai, and instantly used the substitution technique to dodge. Swish, swish, swish. Soon, Konoha's Jonin used kunai again, but Uchiha Kagami easily escaped using the substitution technique. You are very strong, but I have to use ninjutsu next. Water escape water continuous bullet. The Jonin saw that Uchiha Kagami easily saved his attack, and a trace of praise flashed in his eyes, and then he directly formed a seal, and a stream of water escape chakra gathered in his hands. And fired a series of small water bullets, directly shooting at Uchiha Kagami. And Uchiha Kagami was still able to easily detect the trajectory of the water ball, and he got rid of it all. On other battlefields, Uchiha Jing, as a woman who opened the Mangekyo Sharingan in seconds, was naturally not weak in strength, and could easily use the substitution technique to dodge. As for Might Guy, he was not so lucky. The reason was simple, he didn't know any substitution technique at all. He entered the ninja school as a special student, so he didn't need to use the substitution technique, but could use physical skills to dodge. As this Kai's grandfather, style is really inherited, right? Green sportswear, thick and thick eyebrows, watermelon head. It's really amazing, I'll let you learn the 8 gates of ninjutsu later, hehe. After I became a system, I can also learn the 8 gates of ninjutsu, and now I can open 3 gates. I believe that I will be able to open the 8 gates of ninjutsu soon, and then I won't have to be afraid of the existence of Otsutsuki anymore. Senju Fujima was naturally in the team, but it wasn't his turn yet, so he was not in a hurry. He saw Might Guy dodging non-stop, and the corners of his mouth slightly raised. Ban, this kid named Might Jet, his physical skills are pretty good. At such a young age, he actually has such a quick reaction ability, his physical skills have definitely reached the level of a Jonin. But he is still at a disadvantage in a battle with a Jonin without other ninjutsu, and his chances of winning are still very small. Unless, Senju Hashirama pointed at Might Jet who was dodging on the field, with a look of surprise on his face. He didn't expect that at such a young age, his physical skills were so strong. Well, although this kid doesn't know ninjutsu, it's still rare to have such strong physical skills at this age. It may not be impossible for him to surpass the level of Kage when he grows up, but didn't Tobirama create an 8-gate ninjutsu? You can let him try it then. Although he will die if he opens the 8 gates, he can still hold on to the other gates if he has a good physique. Uchiha Madara looked at Might Jet in front of him and nodded slightly, expressing his approval for him, and mentioned the 8-gate ninjutsu of Senju Tobirama. Let's talk about it later. Tobirama studying these strange ninjutsu all day long. The 8 gates are too harmful to the human body, let's observe them first. Senju Hashirama shook his head and did not agree with Uchiha Madara's opinion. He believed that the 8 gates were too harmful to the human body and it was basically a self-mutilating ninjutsu, so he put it in the sealing book. He was not allowed to appear in Konoha at all, after all, such ninjutsu was too dangerous. Then let's wait and see. If he makes any good contributions this time, I will decide to let him choose a ninjutsu from the sealing book. Uchiha Madara nodded slightly, and then said lightly. Well, quote, Senju Hashirama did not refuse and continued to look at the test seriously. A Jonin ninja does not necessarily have the physical skills that a Jonin should have. A Jonin is a comprehensive strength, but Might J only has physical skills. He can win against a Jonin's physical skills, but his comprehensive strength is weak, except for the opening of the 8 gates. Soon, an incense stick of time passed, and all 10 people passed. Very good, you all passed. Next, Senju Fujima, Akamichi Chaman, Nara Shikishin, Yamanaka Gomi. Soon, Iridi mentioned the 10 people again, and the 10 people immediately stepped forward. Master Fujima, I'm sorry. A Jonin saw Senju Fujima, bowed respectfully to him, and then took a stance. Well, come on. Senju Fujima nodded slightly. Swish, swish, swish. Quote. Senju Fujima kicked his right foot, and the entire training ground was filled with river water in an instant. Ah, Master Fujima, you can't use ninjutsu. Iridi saw Senju Fujima using ninjutsu and whispered hurriedly. I didn't use it. I don't know why, the water came when I kicked my foot. It's okay, come on. Senju Fujima smiled at Iridi and explained. At this time, the senior ninja had already rushed towards him, and directly released a fire escape, rushing towards him. Walala. When the Jonin attacked Senju Fujima, the original position of Senju Fujima had turned into a steam, and he had appeared behind the Jonin, without anyone noticing. Wow, Fujima-kun is so handsome. Fujima-kun, I want to marry you, I want to marry you. Fujima-kun is so powerful, I want to give birth to a baby for you. Fujima-kun, I love you, marry me, no, marry me. Fujima-kun, we all love you, please take us in too. Soon, because of Senju Fujima's coquettish actions, countless girls below had their eyes shining, and they wanted to catch him and eat him. Haha, this kid broke the rules. Senju Hashirama saw Senju Fujima breaking the rules, but did not go up to stop him, just smiled happily. Because Senju Fujima's strength has surpassed the Jonin, even the shadow is not his opponent, so such a test is just a formality for him. The water instant body technique invented by Fujima is very powerful. It is already a space ninjutsu, more convenient than Flying Thunder God. It is the most convenient space ninjutsu for close-range combat. As long as you summon the river water, or on the sea surface, you can appear around the enemy anytime and anywhere. It makes the enemy defenseless. Such a space ninjutsu really deserves praise. Even I don't have a good way to deal with it. I can only evaporate the sea water he summoned. Or rely on Susanoo to withstand the damage. Uchiha Madara looked at Senju Fujima in front of him, and his eyes flashed with endless admiration. Such a water instant body technique is invincible as long as there is water. Even Uchiha Madara is difficult to defend unless he activates Susanoo. Because the speed is too fast, Flying Thunder God needs to rely on the special kunai thrown out, or the technique that has been buried long ago. But the water instant body technique does not need it, it only needs to summon a large amount of sea water. Well, aren't you able to use wood release? I should be able to use my complete wood release in a while. In front of wood release, this kind of ninjutsu still has no advantage. A hint of pride flashed in Senju Hashirama's eyes. This is his son, how can he not be strong? However, Uchiha Madara has also awakened wood release. Although he can't use it much now, he is much stronger than Yamato. After a while, when the cells are completely fused, the real wood release will be awakened, and the power at that time will be shocking. Hehe. Uchiha Madara raised the corner of his mouth slightly. The Sharingan of both of them has been constantly evolving. I believe that they will be able to awaken the Samsara Eye soon. On the training ground, the senior ninja couldn't touch a hair of Senju Fujima at all. He was fooled around, but it didn't work at all. Even if he used all his strength, it was useless. Master Fujima, I am not your opponent. Finally, the Jonin admitted defeat and was no longer prepared to fight with Senju Fujima, and the test ended early. Haha, you are already very strong, don't belittle yourself. Senju Fujima looked at the Jonin in front of him, raised his mouth slightly, and then smiled. Soon, the second test was over. The third test begins. Uzumaki Chote, Yakamine, Shimura Danzo, Sarutobi Hiruzen. Soon, the next group of people came up directly, including the third Hokage and the fifth Hokage, ahem. Are you called Might Guy? When Sarutobi Hiruzen and others went up, Senju Fujima had already come to Grandpa Kai and asked with a smile. Master Fujima, yes, I am Might Guy. Might Guy saw Senju Fujima walking towards him and asking him questions, and was slightly stunned, then came back to his senses and shouted. I know you don't know ninjutsu, I can teach you a very powerful set of physical skills. Do you want to learn? After you learn it, not to mention the Jonin, even the cage level can't be your opponent. Senju Fujima didn't say anything, and asked Might Guy directly. What? Physical skills? Physical skills to defeat the cage level strongman? Master Fujima, what do you mean? Do you mean you want to teach me? Might Guy showed joy on his face, and instantly felt that his happiness came too suddenly. What he lacked now was a powerful physical skill. Although he had developed several physical skills, their power was very ordinary. It was barely okay to beat the Jonin, but it had no effect on the cage level. Well, take this scroll. The physical skills I want to teach you are in it. You can't give it to other outsiders unless you yourself's descendants. Do you understand? Senju Fujima smiled slightly and handed him a scroll directly. The scroll on it recorded the improved version of the 8 gates. The system's products can directly choose to bind bloodlines, and Senju Fujima directly bound the bloodline of Might Jet. It can only be passed down from one line to another. Others can't learn it even if they get it. This is the convenient accommodation of the system. Except for the part that requires money, he can't use it at will. He can use the rest of his abilities at will. This is the benefit of him becoming a system. Thank you, Master Fujima. From now on, I, Might Jet, will be your Master Fujima's man. I have met Master Fujima. Quote. After he was born, Might J was found to be unqualified to become a ninja, which made him very upset. No one could understand such a breakdown. But he set a goal for himself, that is, to become a powerful ninja by relying on physical skills. It was this goal that made him work tirelessly, and finally he has achieved some success, but it is still far from enough. The Might family is just a very small family, and there are only one child in the family. So he worked harder, constantly oppressed himself, put pressure on himself, and made himself insist on training. And now Senju Fujima gave him hope, which touched his heart, and he chose to serve him instantly. Well, then you will be my subordinate in the future. Practice well after you go back. I look forward to your future performance. Senju Fujima raised the corner of his mouth slightly, looking at Might J in front of him and smiled. Yes, Master Fujima, I will definitely work hard and will not let Master Fujima down. Quote. Might J was filled with gratitude and assured Senju Fujima. Haha, I'm also looking forward to seeing your performance. Remember to practice well and don't let your physique go to waste. Senju Fujima looked at Might J in front of him, raised the corner of his mouth slightly, and reached out to pat his shoulder. Yes, Master Fujima. A trace of determination flashed in Might J's eyes. I will definitely rely on my own strength to become a powerful man of the generation. I, Might J, will never let Master Fujima down. And Might J is extremely determined in his heart, and he will definitely make achievements to show the world that he is not a waste, and he will definitely become the most powerful physical ninja. Yeah, Senju Fujima nodded slightly, and then turned his attention to the assessment. Very good, your first assessment is all over. Congratulations to all of you, the first assessment is all over. Next is the second assessment, the illusion removal. Next, the Yuhi family will release an illusion on you. If you can remove the illusion within 10 seconds, you will be considered successful. Soon, Irati hurriedly stood in the center of the venue and shouted to everyone. Yes, everyone was looking forward to it, and shouted loudly with all their strength. After all, they didn't want to go to school anymore. Going to the ninja school was simply a torture for them. Master Yuhi, let's start. Irati saw that everyone was in high spirits, and his mouth corners slightly raised. Then he turned around and looked at a man who looked a bit like Yuhika. He looked about 35 years old, not very old, and bowed to him respectfully. Teacher Irati, you're welcome. The master of the Yuhi family, Yuhi Maka, smiled at Irati, and then walked directly to the training ground. Hello everyone, I will perform an illusion next, and you will be hit at the same time. If you can come out of the illusion within 10 seconds, then you will pass. Then Yuhi Maka looked at the students in front of him, and the corners of her mouth slightly raised. Yes, everyone's eyes were burning, and they kept muttering to Yuhi Maka in front of them. They couldn't wait to let others see their strength. Nirvana Jingshi technique. Soon, Yuhi Maka directly released a large-scale illusion. In an instant, everyone suddenly saw white feathers falling, and then everyone fell into a peaceful and deep sleep. Illusion, release. The first person to release it was naturally Senju Fujima, because he didn't use the Sharingan, otherwise he could directly bounce the illusion back. But for Senju Fujima, such an illusion, it was just a piece of cake to release it. No, Fujima-kun, don't die, don't die. Woo woo woo. You promised to marry me, you can't die, you can't die. We haven't gotten married yet, you can't leave me like this. In the illusion, Uchiha Jing saw a terrible scene. She saw a person dead in front of her. When she saw the person clearly, she found that it was Senju Fujima. She ran up to hug him and cried bitterly. Jinger, promise me, okay, live. Senju Fujima's eyes were full of fear and reluctance. Looking at Uchiha Jing in front of him, he fell to the ground and died. No. Uchiha Jing saw Senju Fujima die in her arms. How could she have thought that this was an illusion now? Her mind was full of hatred, and she instantly opened the Mangekyo Sharingan. Kacha. In an instant, when Uchiha Jing opened the Mangekyo Sharingan, the illusion became fragmented and she walked out of the illusion. What? Mangekyo Sharingan, hiss. When did Jinger open the Mangekyo? This Mangekyo. At this moment, Uchiha Madara, Senju Hashirama, and Senju Fujirama instantly discovered the changes in Uchiha Jing, and their eyes were full of shock. Ah, so, it was an illusion. I forgot. When Uchiha Jing came out of the illusion, her pretty face blushed, and she immediately closed the Mangekyo Sharingan, lowered her head and muttered to herself. Madara, you gave me a good daughter-in-law. Ha ha ha. Senju Hashirama saw that Uchiha Jing had awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan by herself. How old was he? She opened her eyes faster than Uchiha Madara, how could he not be happy? For this daughter-in-law, Senju Hashirama said he was very satisfied. HMPH. Although I think she is worthy of Fujima in this way, it is a bargain for you. Uchiha Madara crossed his arms and hugged them in front of his chest. He glanced at Senju Hashirama and snorted coldly. The meaning was obvious, that is, it was a bargain for him. Ha 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 ha. Senju Hashirama laughing loudly, not feeling embarrassed at all. I didn't expect Jinger to be so talented. If Jinger and I give birth to a little Tsunade, won't she be born with the Samsara eye? Hiss. It's scary to think about it. This little Tsunade is probably going to be amazing, right? Senju Fujima was also shocked, because Uchiha Jing relied on himself to awaken the Mangekyo Sharingan. You have to know how difficult it is to awaken the Mangekyo Sharingan. And how old is Uchiha Jing? She is only 10 years old, younger than Uchiha Itachi, and she has opened the Mangekyo Sharingan. This is simply going to be amazing. Suddenly thinking about the future, if Uchiha Jing and I give birth to a little Tsunade, and she opens the Samsara eye directly, I don't know what the scene will be like. Fujima-kun, what are you doing? Why are you looking at me like that? Is there something wrong with my face? Uchiha Jing felt that Senju Fujima was looking at her all the time. Her face flushed. She looked extremely shy in public. No, you beast, don't hit my mother, don't hit my mother, get out of here, get out of here. Woo woo woo. In another illusion, Taikui also encountered the same terrible thing. She saw her father beating her mother all the time, beating her non-stop, and never stopping. Her mother's screams kept coming into her ears, making her cry and squat on the ground, not daring to face the facts. And another picture soon appeared, which was the picture of Senju Fujima and Uchiha Jing getting married, which gave her a double blow and made her feel a little broken in her heart. No, I want to create a world with my mother, I want to create a world where I will always be with Fujima-kun, you all go to hell. Ah, instantly, Tikui also opened her Mangekyo Sharingan and shattered the illusion in front of her. Crack. Soon, Tikui returned to the real world, and only Yuhi Moka saw her eyes. Uchiha Madara was still talking to Senju Hashirama about Uchiha Shizuka, and did not look at it carefully. Another Mangekyo. Is she also from the Uchiha clan? It's amazing. Are the Uchiha clan going to rise? Everyone has opened their Mangekyo, as if they were free. Fortunately, our Yuhi clan joined Konoha, otherwise we would have been beaten to death by them. But now it's good. Shonger is about to marry into the Uchiha family. I hope her future children will have such strong talents. Yuhi Maka didn't know Tikui, because only the Uchiha clan had the Mangekyo Sharingan. So he thought Tikui was from the Uchiha clan, and didn't care, continuing to observe the situation of other students in front of him. Illusion. Release. Soon, Sarutobi Hiruzen and other Konoha F4 all lifted the illusion. For them, such an illusion was still a piece of cake. 10 seconds passed quickly, and everyone passed. Even Maitja could easily remove the illusion. Although he doesn't know illusions and ninjutsu, he still knows the most basic illusion breaking techniques. Very good, all of you have passed this time. Now, let teacher Irati announce the next test to you. When Yuhi Maka saw the students in front of him, the corners of his mouth slightly raised, and then he turned and left. His task was also completed. Sorry to bother the head of Yuhi Maka. Irati bowed to Yuhi Maka again. Yes, Yuhi Maka nodded slightly, and then turned and left directly. Ahem. Next, the third test is physical skills. The person opposite you is an elite chunin. As long as you can defeat him with physical skills, or hold on for 3 minutes, then you will pass. Irati shouted to everyone again. This time it is physical skills, and they must be defeated or hold on for 3 minutes under the physical skills attack of an elite chunin. This is actually quite difficult for freshly graduated students, but it is still very simple for the current batch of students. Team 1, Senju Fujima, Maitja, Shimura Danzo. Soon, the first team appeared, including Senju Fujima and the 5.5th Hokage. Yes, 10 Senju Fujima men hurriedly stepped out and entered their respective venues to prepare. Begin. When Irati gave the order, the battle was about to start. Sir Fujima, I'm sorry. In front of Senju Fujima, there was a Konoha ninja wearing a green vest, who bowed to him. Well, come on. Seeing the chunin in front of him, Senju Fujima smiled slightly. Ha! Soon, the chunin kicked his right foot and rushed towards Senju Fujima quickly. Instant body technique. A wicked smile flashed in Senju Fujima's eyes, and he disappeared instantly. Not good. When the chunin found that Senju Fujima was missing, he secretly said, but it was too late. Go. After saying that, Senju Fujima appeared directly behind the chunin, and with a light push of his right hand, he pushed him out of the assessment range. Thank you, Master Fujima, for showing mercy. The chunin knew that he was no match for Senju Fujima, and did not let him be humiliated, so he bowed to him respectfully. Well, it's okay. Your strength needs to be improved, come on. Senju Fujima disappeared from the spot in an instant, patted the chunin on the shoulder, and said lightly. Yes, Master Fujima. The chunin shouted to Senju Fujima. Wow, Master Fujima is so powerful and handsome. Yes, Master Fujima is so handsome, I love you, Master Fujima. Master Fujima, I love you too, just like a mouse loves rice. Master Fujima, I love you, look here. Master Fujima is so handsome, the instant body technique just now was really powerful, I like it so much. Instantly, because of Senju Fujima's pretentious performance, all the girls at the scene went crazy and kept shouting, "I love you," at him. A group of superficial women, shameless. Hinata Tiankui heard a group of women shouting there shamelessly, frowned, and muttered coldly. Fujima's strength has improved a lot, the instant body technique just now is almost close to my level. An expert can tell whether it is good or not at a glance. Senju Hashirama saw his son's performance just now, and his mouth corners slightly raised, his eyes full of pride. Well, Fujima is getting stronger and stronger. When we were both at this age, we were not even half as strong as him. Uchiha Madara's eyes flashed with admiration, and he smiled at Senju Fujima. Ha ha ha. Don't you see whose son he is? Hee hee. Senju Hashirama couldn't help laughing when he saw Uchiha Madara. He was happier than anyone else when he heard Madara praising Senju Fujima. Tisk, you're just lucky. You got such a good son. When my son comes out, he will definitely be stronger than Fujima. Uchiha Madara saw Senju Hashirama's shameless look, curled his lips and said unconvinced. Your son, he's not even a son yet. But I heard that you asked someone in your family to propose marriage today. How is it? When are you going to get married? Senju Hashirama heard Uchiha Madara say this, looked at him and smiled slightly. He got the news that the Uchiha clan had already gone to propose marriage in the morning, which was a big deal. Tisk, what do you care? Mind yourself first. Tracheitis. Uchiha Madara curled his lips, a rare blush appeared on his face. He didn't want to talk about this topic anymore, so he turned his head away and mocked. Ha ha ha, are you shy? Madara, if you were a woman, I think you would be very beautiful, ha ha ha. Seeing Uchiha Madara's shy look, Hashirama Senju couldn't help laughing and couldn't help teasing. You did it on purpose, didn't you? Do you want to fight me? I, Uchiha Madara, am a man who stands tall and proud. How could I become a woman? Do you believe I'll beat you up if you say that again? When Uchiha Madara heard what Hashirama Senju said, his eyes instantly turned cold. One of his Samsara eyes and one of his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan stared at him, very angry. Haha, just kidding, just kidding. You are so weak that I won't talk to you anymore. But you have also awakened one Samsara eye. My progress is about the same as mine, so amazing. It seems that both of us are getting closer and closer to fully awakening the Samsara eye. Hashirama Senju saw Uchiha Madara's serious look and couldn't help but smile. Then he saw that he had already awakened one Samsara eye and instantly felt incredible. Chapter 91. After all, Uchiha Madara injected cells a while later than himself, but he didn't expect that he had already caught up with his progress. The speed was indeed quite fast. That's right, I asked Fujima to give a heavy dose, which is different from you. Uchiha Madara raised his mouth slightly, and then said lightly. I see, why are you in such a hurry? It's very dangerous, you know. Hashirama Senju heard Uchiha Madara say this, and he was a little worried. After all, his cells are not like other people's cells. Don't worry, Fujima has been studying for so long, so he can naturally control this speed. This is your first time, so the speed is a little slower. There will be no problem after that. The time for the two of us to awaken should be about the same. Uchiha Madara raised his mouth slightly, and his eyes returned to normal. Yeah, hearing Uchiha Madara say this, Hashirama Senju was relieved a lot, and the two continued to watch the battle on the battlefield. Konoha Whirlwind. Maitja used a Konoha Whirlwind directly, kicked the Chunin out of the field, and won. The speed was so fast that even the Chunin had no reaction ability. Physical skills are not my forte. I am only about the strength of an elite Chunin now. It is still difficult to quickly defeat the Chunin on the opposite side. Danzo held a kunai in one hand, looked at the Chunin in front of him vigilantly, and kept thinking in his heart. I'm going to attack. The Chunin on the opposite side rushed directly towards Danzo, and kicked him as soon as he came up. So fast. Danzo's heart tightened, and he quickly turned his body to the side, narrowly avoiding the attack. Ha! But the Chunin did not stop attacking, kicked the ground, and continued to kick him. Ha! Danzo leaned back instantly, dodged the Chunin's attack directly, and kicked up with his right foot. Bang! Not good. The Chunin didn't expect Danzo to react so quickly, but he didn't have time to retract his foot, so he cursed inwardly. As a result, the Chunin was hit directly by Danzo on the joint of his right leg, and cold sweat broke out. I was careless. The Chunin thought that Danzo in front of him was not very outstanding, so he was a little careless and didn't take this test seriously. He didn't expect that he would lose, which made him feel embarrassed and angry, and his face turned red. It's a close call. Fortunately he revealed his flaws, otherwise it would be really difficult to deal with him. Such an idiot will definitely die the fastest on the battlefield. He actually revealed his flaws to me. He is simply looking for death, and such a waste can also become an elite Chunin. It's really ridiculous, huh? Danzo looked at the elite Chunin with some disdain, raised the corner of his mouth slightly, and then glanced at the popular Senju Fujima. Senju Fujima, you wait for me. I, Danzo, will definitely defeat you and kill you. Don't be too proud too soon. I will definitely return the humiliation you received that day 100 times, 1,000 times. Don't die too early, live well and wait for the day I kill you. Then Danzo saw Senju Fujima and instantly remembered the incident when he was insulted by him. A hint of dark murderous intent flashed in his eyes. Senju Fujima frowned, suddenly felt a sense of malice, and quickly looked at Danzo. So it's you, this little piece of trash. Do you really think I don't dare to kill you? You are a dark-hearted guy. If it weren't for the fact that your Shimura family is subservient to our Senju clan, I would have killed you long ago. Keeping you alive is a nuisance after all. Since the First Ninja World War is about to begin, it shouldn't be too much for you to die on the battlefield, right? Hehe. Because Senju Fujima is very sensitive to evil thoughts and murderous intentions, he instantly sensed Danzo. Seeing his cannibalistic eyes looking at him, his mouth corners slightly raised, and a trace of disdain flashed in his eyes. HMPH. Danzo found that Senju Fujima turned his head to look at him, and even laughed at him. He also knew that he was no match for him now, so he didn't say much, just snorted coldly and walked away directly. Team 2. Hiruzen Sarutobi, Kaharu Utatane, and Midokado, get ready, it's your turn soon. Soon, Iridi announced the next team. The first team was almost finished, and the results were pretty good, everyone passed. Yes, Hiruzen Sarutobi and the others hurried out, staring at the field in front of them. Thank you. Soon, all the members of the first team finished the battle, and all passed. It must be said that the first batch of students is still very strong. Team 2, get ready start. Quote, Iridi shouted after seeing the first team finished. Soon, Sarutobi Hiruzen and others stepped forward and walked towards the field. Is it finally the little monkey's turn to play? I don't know how this kid has been training recently, although I didn't like you when I watched Naruto. But now he is my younger brother after all. I hope you don't have so much hatred, otherwise as a brother, I don't mind letting you try the feeling of Koto Amatsukami. Quote, Senju Fujima saw Sarutobi Hiruzen walking onto the training ground, and the corner of his mouth slightly raised. Because Sarutobi Hiruzen was indeed a bit weak in the later period, and he and the scapegoat Guwudaime Hokage killed countless strong men in the village. Although he was not released directly, people can guess it. As the Hokage of Konoha, he was not bad in the early stage. After all, Konoha was full of talents, and they also needed to rely on him to cultivate them. After becoming Hokage, he almost never went to the battlefield. That was also because there were too many strong men in the village, and he didn't need to go out at all. In the later period, he began to kill Kaiden's father. Although it was suicide, anyone with a discerning eye could understand that he died in the battle for Hokage. As for Senju Nawaki, it is estimated that he and Guwudaime killed him together. It is very likely because he awakened the Konoha the escape threatened the position of the Hokage, so he died. After all, a ninja who awakened the would release, and he was also the grandson of the first generation, no one was more qualified to inherit the position of Hokage than him. Although the original text did not give Tsunade and Noa's surnames, I think it was because Noa's became a supporting role and there was no need to give surnames, just like Tsunade's father did not even leave a name. As for why Tsunade was called a princess, there are many theories. One theory is that her father married into the daimyo of the Land of Fire and became the new daimyo, so she became a princess. But I personally think that it is because she is a princess of the Senju clan. Onoki and Kuretsuchi have no family, so they cannot become princesses. This comparison is not valid. Everyone has their own ideas. Without the original text, you can guess, please don't get entangled. I'm sorry. Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned, looking at the elite chunin in front of him, and took out an iron rod as a weapon, not a golden hoop stick. There was no need to use it against a chunin. Yeah, the elite chunin nodded to Sarutobi Hiruzen, then rushed up with the kunai in his hand. Bang! Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes condensed, and he attacked quickly, hitting the chunin's kunai with a stick, and the huge force directly knocked the chunin out. Pa! The elite chunin was hit by Sarutobi Hiruzen and fell out of the training ground. Thank you. Then Sarutobi Hiruzen took back the iron rod and turned to leave. You should know that Sarutobi Hiruzen used the golden hoop stick to push the 9 tails out of the village directly. From this, we can see that his physical skills and the strength of his arms are amazing. The little monkey is quite strong. We still need to train him more in the future. Hashirama Senju watched Sarutobi Hiruzen fight, his mouth slightly raised, and he muttered in his heart. Ha! Dang dang dang. Kaharu Udatane frowned, holding the kunai in her hand and constantly attacking the elite chunin in front of her. The attack speed was extremely fast, and she was not the kind of woman who was powerless. This little girl is quite strong. Can she suppress me? The elite chunin frowned, and he actually encountered some perverts today. The little girl in front of him could be so powerful, which made him speechless. However, this is also because he is not a physical ninja. He can't use all his strength to fight with physical skills. Pa! Just when the elite chunin was distracted, the whole person kicked Kaharu Udatane on his back and flew out. Hee. In order to catch up with Fujima-kun, I have not neglected my training during this period. When Kaharu Udatane saw that she had won, the corners of her mouth slightly raised. Because the moment she saw Senju Fujima, she felt that she was in love, but she also knew that her strength was too poor, so she redoubled her efforts to practice, and finally achieved some results. Hello, Fujima-kun. After Kaharu Udatane walked off the stage, she passed by Senju Fujima intentionally or unintentionally and waved to him. Well, hello. Senju Fujima saw Kaharu Udatane and smiled back, without showing any disgust. After all, Kaharu Udatane is still very cute now. It's just a greeting, so there's no need to put on a stern face. Huh. When Tikui saw Kaharu Udatane like this, a trace of disgust flashed in her eyes. And Kaharu Udatane seemed to have discovered something, turned her head and looked at Tikui, a little confused, but then seemed to think of something and glared at her. It was as if an invisible lightning appeared between the two people, bursting out from their eyes, and they started a tug of war. Fujima-kun, do you know why we have to graduate early? Uchiha Jing didn't look at the two of them for a few more times. She also heard from Senju Fujima that Tikui was a poor woman who was picked up by him. After confirming that the two did not have that kind of relationship, she felt much more comfortable. Graduate early. We are going to the battlefield. The First Ninja World War will start soon. So this graduation is because we all have to go to the battlefield, although we won't encounter very dangerous enemies. But there is a certain degree of danger. This time we go out should be to let us exercise our survival ability. After all, we still need to do tasks in the future, and we are likely to encounter danger when doing tasks. If you don't have the strength to protect yourself, everything will be in vain. Senju Fujima smiled at Uchiha Jing, and then looked at the students who were still fighting on the training ground. Go to the battlefield. Aren't we at peace now? Why do we have to go to the battlefield? Uchiha Jing was a little confused. Isn't it a peaceful period now? Why do we have to go to the battlefield? Yes, Fujima-kun, shouldn't there be no war now? Who are we going to fight? Tetsugu Kaharu was also a little confused. She didn't get any news from the family. After all, it was a small family and there was limited information. The same was true for Tetsukui, but she didn't say it out loud. She turned her head and looked at Senju Fujima in confusion. There is no war in our fire country, but what about other countries? They have wanted to attack the fire country for a long time. After all, the resources of the fire country are very rich. Just like the wind country, it's all deserts and life is miserable. If they want to survive, they need to plunder other people's resources. And the earth country, it's all earth mountains, and many places are barren. The land of lightning is mostly mountainous, so its resources are naturally not as abundant as the land of fire. As for the land of water, Although it is close to the sea, it also wants to get a piece of the pie, so the ninja villages of the 4 countries have united and directly attacked our Konoha. I guess we will go to the battlefield during this period. Senju Fujima smiled at the 3 women in front of him and explained. What? The 4 hidden villages attack our Konoha? Fujima-kun, can we stop them? They have 4 hidden villages, and we only have 1. Uchiha Jing had never been on the battlefield, so she was unknown about all this. She only knew that 4 against 1, so they would definitely not be able to win, right? After all, they are overwhelmed by numbers, so wouldn't it be very dangerous for them to go to the battlefield? You underestimate your own Uchiha clan and Senju clan. Quote. There are also the Hyuga clan and other families in the village, and they are all strong. The 4 ninja villages attacking Konoha is just like an egg hitting a rock. A trace of disdain flashed in Tikui's eyes. Although he hated the Uchiha clan very much in his heart, he had to admit that the Uchiha clan was strong. Not to mention the Senju clan, which is known as the strongest family in the ninja world. How could it be weak? Now Tikui herself has awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan, and has a clearer understanding of the strength of the Uchiha clan. Although she doesn't know how many pairs of Mangekyo Sharingan the Uchiha clan has, the strength of the Uchiha clan has been deeply engraved in her heart. Go to the battlefield, I can do it. I want to become stronger on the battlefield so that I can be qualified to be Fujima-kun's wife. Although he is already engaged to Uchiha Jing, 1 more person shouldn't be too much. Hehe. Quote. Taiden Kaharu looked at Senju Fujima, and a hint of determination flashed in her eyes. People go to high places, and water flows to low places. She is not a woman who is content with being ordinary. She will also bravely pursue the man she likes. Now that the Warring States period has just ended, there is no such thing as monogamy, and there is nothing wrong with having multiple wives. Really, Fujima-kun? Uchiha Shizuka tilted her head and asked Senju Fujima. Although Uchiha Shizuka had awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan, she did not like fighting, so she had a lot of strength but could not use it much. Yeah, in fact, let alone the village, your husband, I can destroy Shikoku alone, hehe. Senju Fujima looked at the cute Uchiha Shizuka in front of him, nodded slightly, and then laughed. PFF'd. Fujima-kun only knows how to tell jokes, but I believe it. When Udane Kaharu heard Senju Fujima say this, she burst out laughing, and soon held it back, and then said seriously. She did not say that she did not believe Senju Fujima, but this did make people feel exaggerated. I believe it. Uchiha Shizuka did not mind Senju Fujima saying that he was her husband in public, and she was eager for him to say so. In this way, he could tell others that he was talking about himself, so that the other girls would move away. He squinted his eyes and smiled. Humph, I will definitely create a world with a mother and a Fujima who loves me. Don't be too proud too soon, I will definitely take back everything I have. What belongs to me, others will never get it, and they will never be taken away. When Tikui saw Senju Fujima and Uchiha Jing being affectionate, her eyes became colder and colder, and she turned away directly, her heart full of murderous intent and determination. At this time, Tikui could no longer suppress her anger, and her heart was firm in the thoughts that Black Zetsu had instilled in her, and she was completely blackened. Senju Fujima didn't know all this, and he didn't expect that he would be so important to Tikui, nor did he expect that she would directly open her Mangekyo Sharingan in anger. He didn't expect that she would happen to be met by Black Zetsu and be confused by him. While everyone was talking, the physical examination was also announced to be over. The 4th test is the speed of seal making. The speed of your seal making depends on your chance of survival. With the same strength, the faster you seal, the faster you can defeat the enemy. Of course, if you are not as strong as others, you can also use other abilities to evacuate, and you don't need to fight hard. Let's start our test. The lowest speed is 2 seals per second. Those who are less than 2 seals per second will be considered unqualified. Iridi looked at everyone and quickly repeated the test rules. Those who are less than 2 seals per second will be considered unqualified. Yes, soon, everyone shouted loudly. Now line up in 10 teams and come here. There will be a tester who will give you a timely response, and then you can just perform it directly. And report your name and register. Iridi nodded slightly, and then shouted to everyone again. Soon, all the students separated and lined up neatly and began the test. Master Fujima. The tester saw that the first one was Senju Fujima, and bowed quickly. Well, register. Senju Fujima smiled slightly, then smiled faintly. Ha! Water escape rain tiger free technique. Instantly, the entire Konoha village began to become cloudy. Clatter. It soon began to rain. Rain, rain. Did you see Master Fujima make a seal just now? I didn't see it. I just saw him clap his hands and whatever he shouted came true. Too powerful, such a large area of rainfall, how much chakra does it consume? I saw the entire Konoha village began to be covered with dark clouds, my god. The coverage area is too wide, right? Too powerful, worthy of Master Fujima. Soon, everyone present saw Senju Fujima directly use a ninjutsu, instantly turning the entire Konoha into dark clouds, and it began to rain. Everyone was surprised. How much chakra would be consumed for such a large area of dark clouds and precipitation? This completely overturned everyone's worldview. This chakra was just like the rain, consuming without cost. The breath of yin-yang escape. Who is it? A rabbit. At this moment, because Senju Fujima had integrated all his chakra into the rain, which was also a perception ninjutsu, he suddenly felt a trace of yin-yang escape. Then he instantly sensed a rabbit, which was actually at the door of Tikui's house, which made him a little confused. This was a technique he learned from Nagato and then researched by himself. Although it was not harmful, it allowed him to shuttle freely in the rain. In this rain, height is God, a god that no one can match. No, he is not a rabbit, nine-tailed chakra mode. Instantly, Senju Fujima noticed something was wrong, and directly activated the nine-tailed chakra mode and sensed again. What a powerful malicious power, what is this rabbit? Why does it have such a powerful special power? And there is yin-yang escape in the body, could it be? Is it Black Zetsu? At this moment, Senju Fujima noticed that this rabbit actually had very strong malice, and instantly thought of a person, that is Black Zetsu. Swish. Instantly, Senju Fujima disappeared directly on the spot. Master Fujima. The person in charge of recording suddenly saw Senju Fujima disappear on the spot, and shouted in surprise. But looking around, Senju Fujima had disappeared in the training ground, and disappeared without a trace. Teacher Irati, Master Fujima is missing, but Master Fujima just clapped his hands and completed the seal, so I will just write a pass. After all, Master Fujima didn't seal, and I don't know the seal speed. Then the staff looked at Irati beside him and smiled awkwardly. Well, that's it. Sorry, Master Fujima is like this. Irati also smiled awkwardly, scratched his head, and looked around but couldn't find the whereabouts of Senju Fujima. Where did Fujima go? Senju Hashirama also found that Senju Fujima was missing and was a little confused. Don't worry about this kid. This kid's technique is more difficult to deal with than other water escape techniques. Fujima is really a ninjutsu genius. He can come up with such a method. With such a large range, he can go wherever he wants. He directly uses the water flickering technique, which is many times faster than Flying Thunder God. This kid is really good. A hint of surprise flashed in Uchiha Madara's eyes, and more of it was praise. He didn't expect Senju Fujima to be able to invent such a ninjutsu. Such a ninjutsu combined with his water flickering technique is simply countless times more terrifying than Flying Thunder God. In the sky, ignoring space, as long as there is water, you can reach it instantly. This combination is really invincible. Yeah, this technique consumes too much chakra, listed as a forbidden technique. And it is not very practical. It should also have a perceptual effect, which is not something that ordinary people can bear. It's better to put it in the Book of Sealing. Senju Hashirama also nodded with satisfaction, but felt that it consumed too much chakra, so he threw it directly into the Book of Sealing. After all, such a large-scale rainfall cannot be maintained without strong chakra. And such rainfall can only play a perceptual role. Unless it is used as Flying Thunder God like Senju Fujima, it will have no effect at all. Tisk, whatever you want. I can't use it anyway. Uchiha Madara curled his lips. He couldn't use such a ninjutsu, so it didn't matter whether it was put in the Book of Sealing or not. Senju Tobarama. Brother, when will water escape also be put into the Book of Sealing? Hashirama Senju laughed, and then continued to observe the test below. At this time, Fujirama Senju had already arrived in front of Tikui's room, staring at the black Zetsu in front of him, with a hint of murderous intent in his eyes. Why is this kid looking at me like this? Have I been discovered? How is it possible? How could he find me? It shouldn't be. I hid so well, he definitely can't find me. But this kid can actually use the Nine Tails chakra mode. He can also use wood release. This kid can't stay. He must be eliminated as soon as possible. Otherwise, his existence may affect my plan. Black Zetsu held a big carrot and looked at Fujirama Senju in front of him, muttering in his heart. Black Zetsu, nice to meet you. I didn't expect that after looking for you for so long, you would come to my door on your own. It's really a case of searching for something without any effort, right? Haha. Senju Fujima looked at the black Zetsu in front of him, with a slight smile on his face. He had been looking for black Zetsu for so long, but he hadn't found anything. He didn't expect that he would appear in front of him inexplicably. This was simply what he wanted. How is it possible? How could he know of my existence? How could he? How is it possible? Black Zetsu widened his eyes, and a hint of disbelief flashed in his eyes. He had never been discovered by anyone, so why did Senju Fujima know him? This made Black Zetsu puzzled. Are you surprised? But you don't need to know. Next, I will send you to a closed space and let you slowly reflect inside. Space array wall. Senju Fujima saw doubt in Black Zetsu's eyes, and the corner of his mouth slightly raised. Then his eyes instantly turned into Mangekyo Sharingan, and he acted directly on the space where Black Zetsu was, and a pool of blood flowed directly from the corner of his left eye. I have a bad premonition. Run. Black Zetsu instantly felt a bad premonition, and directly separated a part of Yin-Yang escape, turned into darkness and hid underground. Bang. What? How is it possible? Control space. Let me out. Who are you? Let me out. And most of the remaining black Zetsu was still in the body of the stupid rabbit. He kept knocking on the space, but it seemed that there was an invisible wall in front of him, so he couldn't get out. Let me out quickly. Senju Fujima, I want you dead, I will definitely kill you. Then Black Zetsu roared at Senju Fujima, seemingly crazy, but in fact he just wanted to let another small part of his black Zetsu escape the scene directly. HMPH, you have no chance. Goodbye, Black Zetsu, hee. Senju Fujima raised the corner of his mouth slightly, snorted coldly, and then controlled the space to fly directly into the air quickly. The speed was getting faster and faster, and soon he was thrown into space. Solved. Black Zetsu is gone. This world should be quiet, right? This pupil technique is really convenient, attack and defense at the same time, and it is easy to trap people. I just don't know if the infinite compression of space can kill Black Zetsu. If not, he will run away again. Forget it, just let him stay in space. Out of sight, out of mind. Ha ha ha. Senju Fujima raised the corner of his mouth slightly, then retracted the Mangekyo Sharingan and wiped the blood. The Rinnegan is about to awaken. Is this moment finally here? I wonder if the Rinnegan can bring such a powerful force. I'm really looking forward to it. It's a waste to spend money to exchange for the Samsara Eye, so I'd better upgrade it myself. Anyway, Black Zetsu is gone now, so no one should come to make trouble, right? It's impossible for an Otsutsuki to suddenly come, right? Hee. I thought the system has become an exchange system, but exchanging for the Samsara Eye requires a lot of money, which makes Senju Fujima reluctant. Although I upgrade a little slowly, at least I can save a lot of money. But money is still indispensable. When the time comes, I will open a casino and win all my dad's money, hee. Then Senju Fujima thought that he could open a casino directly and win all the monthly pocket money of Senju Hashirama. Wouldn't he have money in this way? It won't let the fat water flow into the fields of outsiders, so why not? I'm really a genius. Go back. Quote. Senju Fujima's mouth corners slightly raised, and then disappeared directly on the spot. Senju Fujima, you wait for me. And Heizetsu did not dare to show up, and the whole person shrank underground, and then disappeared. When Senju Fujima returned to the training ground, he waved his hand, and the dark clouds of Konoha were instantly removed, and the rain stopped instantly. Fujima-kun, where did you go just now? I can't find you anywhere. When Senju Fujima just appeared, Uchiha Jing came over. Just now, he suddenly found that he was gone, and he couldn't find him after searching for a circle. Nothing, just a little thirsty, I went back to drink some water. As the test over, seeing Uchiha Jing, Senju Fujima's mouth corners slightly raised, and smiled faintly. Yeah, it's over, 6 seals in 1 second, hee. Quote. Uchiha Jing blushed slightly, nodded shyly, then looked up at Senju Fujima and smiled. 6 seals per second, that's pretty good. I didn't expect our Jinger to be so good. Senju Fujima smiled slightly, reached out and touched Uchiha Jing's soft hair. Hee. Uchiha Jing also enjoyed it and smiled at Senju Fujima. Okay, now we're going to the 5th test. The 5th test is ninjutsu. One person must release more than 5 ninjutsu, at least one of which must be B level or above. There is no limit to the attributes of the ninjutsu. Still follow the same method as before and start releasing ninjutsu on the training ground. After you release them, someone will register you. Irati looked at everyone and shouted loudly. Now we have reached the 5th test, and the 6th test will follow. After the test, it will be over. Yes, everyone was eager to try, except for Maitja, because he didn't need to be tested for these items and he didn't know any ninjutsu, so he was exempted directly. In an instant, a barrier was erected in the entire area to prevent anyone from using ninjutsu with a very large range. Earth style, Earth Dragon Bullet. Fire style, Fire Dragon Bullet. Water style, Water Dragon Bullet. Lightning style, Thunder Dragon. Wind style, Wind Dragon. 5 styles, Great Linking Bullet Technique. The first to take the stage was Sarutobi Hiruzen, who skillfully used 5 ninjutsu and combined them together. This ability is something that few people can do. Okay, you passed. Next, the person in charge of registration recorded Sarutobi Hiruzen's name and then shouted loudly. This kid from the Sarutobi clan is pretty good. He can use 5 ninjutsu so skillfully. And he can also use them completely together. Such a combination of power has reached S-level ninjutsu. He is a talent. Uchiha Madara nodded slightly, and praised Sarutobi Hiruzen for skillfully using 5 ninjutsu. That's right, my nephew, how can he not be awesome? Just kidding, hee. Hashirama Senju didn't answer, but just smiled at Uchiha Madara and nodded, but he muttered in his heart. Next, Uchiha Shizu. Soon, it was Uchiha Shizu's turn to appear, and Uchiha Shizu quickly made a seal. Chi. Instantly, a lightning flash appeared on Uchiha Shizu's right hand, and the lightning flash instantly sounded like a bird's cry, resounding through the world, making everyone present look over here. Lightning release, Reikiri. I saw Uchiha Shizu instantly inserted his right hand directly into the ground. Bang! Instantly, a small pit with a diameter of about 30 to 40 centimeters appeared on the ground. Lightning release, Chidori flow. The whole body was emitting lightning, and countless lightning turbulence appeared around, making it difficult for people to approach at a glance. Lightning style, Chidori Senbon. Fire style, Great Fire Extinguishing. Fire style, Phoenix Fire Technique. Soon, Uchiha Shizuka performed 5 ninjutsu and then turned and left. Passed. Next is Shimura Danzo. It was Danzo's turn, and he walked directly into the training ground and began to make hand seals. Wind style, Vacuum Ball. Wind style, Vacuum Wave. Wind style, Shuriken. Passed. Next is Senju Fujima. Now it was Senju Fujima's turn, as he walked into the training ground. Rasengan. Large Ball Rasengan. Super Large Ball Rasengan. Super Large Ball Rasengan Multi-Reach Ball. Rasengan Rongan. Instantly, Senju Fujima had no ninjutsu to use, and he just rolled balls, and he rolled them in various ways. But this was all learned from little Naruto, and everyone present was dazzled. Ha, Fujima is such an interesting guy. They are all meatballs, they can be combined into a set meal. Uchiha Madara laughed out loud when he saw Senju Fujima's funny look. Well, he really made a lot of tricks with these meatballs. Senju Hashirama was a little embarrassed, looking at Senju Fujima, not knowing what to say. Well, Senju Fujima, pass. Even the staff in charge of keeping records were dumbfounded, the meatballs were really well made. Next, Hyuga Aku. Then it was the turn of the eldest daughter of the Hyuga family, Hyuga Aku. Humph, You only know how to make meatballs. Hyuga Aku snorted coldly, and then walked directly into the training ground. This little girl, what is she doing? Did I offend you? She's really cute, just like Hinata, but she has the same personality as Sakura. So irritable. I don't think I've offended you. Or is she secretly in love with me, and is jealous of me and Shizuka together? Women are really strange animals. Quote, Senju Fujima felt that there was something wrong with Hinata Tenkui, who was walking in front of him, but he just couldn't tell what the problem was. But she looked pretty cute, and he couldn't help but mutter in his heart. 8 trigrams 64 palms. 8 trigrams 666 palms. 8 trigrams whirlwind palm. Soon, Hinata Tenkui also displayed his own physical skills. Although it was a physical skill, it was almost the same as ninjutsu. It can also be used for long-range and close-range attacks, with great power, and can also block the enemy's chakra. As for the 8 trigrams whirlwind palm, it was created by Hinata Tenkui himself. It is a palm method that causes endless strong winds to appear when the palm is thrown out quickly, turning into invisible air blades to attack. It is hard to defend against and has great power. Half an hour later, the 5th test was over. Congratulations to everyone for passing it again. The last test will be conducted below. Quote, you will be divided into groups of 3 and attack a cage-level warrior. As long as you can survive for 3 minutes under the attack of this cage-level warrior, you will pass the test. Of course, it is difficult for you to deal with a cage-level warrior, but a cage-level warrior will not use any offensive ninjutsu. But it does not include illusions and physical techniques, and there are some defensive ninjutsu. Next, I announce that the game will begin. Here are your respective group lists, check them out yourself. Each team has 3 minutes to discuss countermeasures before going up. This time, the test is the ability of teamwork, not the ability of one person. I hope you can understand. Irati raised his mouth slightly, and then distributed the forms in his hand to people one by one, and each team was divided. Team 1, Shimura Danzo, Mito Kato N, Sarutobi Hiruzen. Team 2, Ino Shika Cho Trio. Quote, Team 3, Kagaya Kun Azanori, Yakamine, Maitja. Team 4, Senju Fujima, Uchiha Shizuka, Inazuka Toku. Team 5, Hinata Tenkui, Tetsuku Aoi, Haruno Toru. Soon, the respective teams were arranged, and then everyone began to assign tasks, matters to pay attention to later, and strategies, etc. Jing, you two will go up later. I won't cooperate with you. If I attack, you won't have a chance to attack. So you and Inazuka Toku will attack first. Your combat ability needs to be greatly improved. Senju Fujima said lightly while looking at Uchiha Jing and Inazuka Toku in front of him, not looking down on them. Because the cage-level strongman can no longer pose a threat to him, his attack is just a direct kill, which is meaningless. On the contrary, both of them are not bad in strength, but they don't have enough combat experience, so they still need to suffer some setbacks. Yeah, I know, Fujima-kun. I will definitely work hard. Uchiha Jing looked eager to try. She vowed not to hold back Senju Fujima again. After all, she was about to go to the battlefield. If she didn't have the ability to protect herself, she would drag down Senju Fujima, so she had to make herself stronger, and a trace of determination flashed in her eyes. HMPH, I can beat him alone. Inazuka Toku snorted coldly, stretched out his hand and touched a puppy beside him. He was very unconvinced, but he was still very confident in his own strength. 3 minutes are up, how are you prepared? At this time, a ninja from the Uchiha clan came out and asked Senju Fujima and others. Almost done. Let's start. Senju Fujima nodded slightly, and then walked directly to the edge of the barrier. Wood release, table and chair technique. Soon, a table and chair appeared in front of Senju Fujima, and he sat on the chair directly, looking at the field, very leisurely. Ah, boy, I'll beat you to death when I come back. You actually used wood release to make tables and chairs. And you're sitting down in front of so many people. You have no image at all. Don't you know that this is a test? I'll deal with you when I get back. You're so angry. When Hashirama Senju saw that Fujima Senju actually sat down, he instantly felt furious. His face was ashen, and his eyes were filled with endless murderous intent. He wanted to catch him and beat him up right now. Hashirama, I think Fujima's ninjutsu is good. Why didn't I think of it? The chairs in the office should be changed. I'll change them when I get back. Ha 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 ha. Uchiha Madara saw Fujima Senju like this and looked indifferent. Anyway, there was no need to test Fujima's strength. He could do whatever he wanted. Humph. Hashirama Senju snorted coldly, his face was ashen, and his fists were clenched. The strong man of the Uchiha clan glanced at Senju Fujima, without any other action, and then looked at Uchiha Shizuka and Inuzuka Toku in front of him. Uncle Wei, you have to be careful. Uchiha Shizuka instantly pulled out the kunai in his hand, frowned, and stared at Uchiha Wei in front of him. Come on. Uchiha Wei nodded slightly, and then took out a kunai. Four-legged technique. Instantly, Inuzuka Toku immediately fell to the ground, and the chakra was directly condensed on his limbs, turning into a beast in seconds. Chidori Blade. And Uchiha Shizuka instantly used the lightning release, directly covering the kunai in his hand, and it was still extending continuously, using the lightning release chakra to directly create a lightning release chakra sword. Chidori Senbon. Gat Tonga. Soon, Uchiha Shizuka and Inuzuka Toku used their own ninjutsu without any discussion. You can't beat me if you don't cooperate. Especially when there are only two of you. Uchiha Wei shook his head, and then instantly turned into a group of crows, and the whole person disappeared on the spot. Bang bang bang. Gone. Inuzuka's attack missed, and he instantly fell to the ground, then restored his human form, frowned, and kept looking for Uchiha Wei everywhere. Swish, swish, swish. As soon as Inuzuka stopped, he heard several sounds of breaking through the air, and then he looked carefully and found that it was the Chidori Senbon that Uchiha Jing had just released, and his pupils shrank instantly. Jing, why are you hitting me? I'll run away. Substitute technique. Bang, tat tat. Fortunately, Inuzuka used the substitute technique directly to avoid the attack, otherwise he would have become a sieve directly. No, sorry, I didn't expect you to go over there. Uchiha Jing instantly felt her pretty face blush, and said a little embarrassedly. Next, I will use the tooth-passing tooth. You aim and hit, don't hit me anymore. If I hadn't run fast just now, I would have died. Inuzuka Toku saw that Uchiha Jing was so cute, and he couldn't bear to scold her, so he started to negotiate. Okay, I'll block his escape route. Uchiha Jing nodded slightly, and then saw a group of crows appear behind them, and they turned into Uchiha Wei directly. Okay, ya tong ya. Inuzuka Toku nodded slightly, and then attacked Uchiha Wei again. It's useless. Uchiha Wei shook his head, and then turned into a crow again and disappeared on the spot. Fire style. Great fire extinguishment. Turn for me. Instantly, Uchiha Jing spit out a large amount of flames from his mouth, directly surrounding the entire barrier to prevent Uchiha Wei from escaping. Oh, good control. Uchiha Wei nodded slightly, and then quickly made a seal. Water escape technique. Waterfall technique. Soon, Uchiha Wei used a large-scale water escape technique, which directly filled the entire barrier with water. Although Uchiha Wei was not good at water escape technique, he could still use it to put out all the fire of Uchiha Jing. Good opportunity. Ya tong ya. When Inuzuka Toku saw Uchiha Wei making a seal, he rushed towards him directly. Hee. Uchiha Wei raised the corner of his mouth slightly, and then instantly turned into a pool of water. What? Water clone. Not good. Water escape technique. Water prison technique. Instantly, Inuzuka Toku was directly controlled by Uchiha Wei, imprisoned in the water prison, and lost his ability to fight. No, we must rescue Inuzuka Toku first. You can't use lightning escape, otherwise Inuzuka Toku will also be electrocuted. What should I do? Uchiha Shizuka frowned, constantly thinking in his mind, but he didn't know what he should do. Is there still time to think? Magic entanglement. Soon Uchiha Wei opened the 3 Magatama Sharingan and used an illusion directly on Uchiha Shizuka. Uchiha Shizuka was instantly tied up by countless wooden bars and hung in the air, with only a pair of eyes exposed. Jing, you have a strong talent, but your actual combat ability is really poor. If you are on the battlefield at this time, you are already dead. Go back during this period and train with me well. You will be on the battlefield soon. You can't do this. Uchiha Wei appeared in front of Uchiha Jing, looked at Uchiha Jing in front of him, and shook his head. Uncle Wei, I haven't used my full strength yet, I haven't lost yet. I swear, I will become stronger and will not be a hindrance to Fujima-kun. Uncle Wei, I'm sorry. Mangekyo Sharingan, illusion rebound. Instantly, Uchiha Jing directly opened the Mangekyo Sharingan and directly rebounded Uchiha Hui's illusion back. Did you open the Mangekyo? It's Jing after all. At this time, Uchiha Wei and Uchiha Jing exchanged their identities, and he became the one tied up, and a trace of relief flashed in his eyes. However, you just opened the Mangekyo Sharingan, and you are not proficient in using it yet. Release. Uchiha Wei raised his lips slightly, and then the illusion was directly released, and the two returned to the real world again. Uncle Wei, I will use all my strength next, you have to be careful. Illusion. Demon Realm. Instantly, Uchiha Jing's pair of Mangekyos rotated rapidly, blood flowed from the corners of her eyes, and she released the Demon Realm directly towards Uchiha Wei. What? Uchiha Wei did not expect that Uchiha Jing's Mangekyo was actually specialized in illusion, and she was directly pulled into an illusion space. Why is this so similar to Tsukuyomi? I didn't expect that Jing would actually be able to use Tsukuyomi. The Eye of Illusion, a reflection of the soul, so why would Jing want to strengthen the illusion? Senju Fujima saw Uchiha Jing use the Demon Realm, was slightly stunned, lowered his head and muttered to himself. Uncle Wei, this is my illusion space. I control the time and everything inside. 3 days inside is only 1 second outside. If you can't break my illusion, then you lose. Uchiha Jing looked at Uchiha Wei in front of her. She seemed to have changed her personality after opening her Mangekyo Sharingan. She exuded a cold and evil aura. Jinger, look, is this me? At this moment, Uchiha Wei suddenly turned into a group of crows and disappeared directly into the world of the Demon Realm. What? Uchiha Jing instantly exited the Demon Realm world and was stunned when she saw Uchiha Wei in front of her. What you see is just the human figure I refracted using illusion. Your illusion is very powerful, but you can't use it casually. Otherwise it will not be good for your eyes. Uchiha Wei raised his mouth slightly. He is a strong man of the Uchiha clan who is famous for illusion. How could he be subdued by Uchiha Jing, a little kid, with illusion? I know, Uncle Wei. Instant body technique. Reikiri. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Soon, Uchiha Jing disappeared from the spot, and instantly appeared behind Uchiha Wei, and stabbed him with Reikiri. Ha ha. Uchiha Wei turned into a crow and disappeared from the spot. Chidori sharp spear. Soon, Uchiha Jing stretched the lightning in his hand continuously and shot it directly towards the place where Uchiha Wei would appear in the next second. Bang. Did you see through it? Uchiha Wei frowned. His right shoulder was scratched by the Chidori sharp spear, and he felt a little numb, lowered his head and muttered to himself. Uncle Wei, everything about you can't be hidden from these eyes. Chidori Senbon. Wind style, great breakthrough. Fire style, fire dragon technique. Combination ninjutsu, flame whirlwind. Then Uchiha Jing directly waved out countless Chidori Senbon again, and quickly formed a seal, and directly used a combination ninjutsu, rushing directly towards Uchiha Wei. Not bad strength. Substitution technique. Bang. Soon, Uchiha Wei used the substitution technique directly and left the original place directly, and the wood on the original place was instantly burned to ashes. Huff, huff, huff. Uchiha Jing consumed too much chakra, and it was her first time releasing the demon realm, which put a lot of pressure on her spirit. She felt exhausted and gasped heavily. Your strength will stop here. Your time is up for this competition, so you barely passed it. Uchiha Wei looked at Uchiha Jing in front of him, raised his mouth slightly, and said lightly, said calmly. Passed. When Uchiha Jing heard this, she smiled slightly, then turned off her Mangekyo Sharingan and leaned back. Swish. Just when Uchiha Jing was about to fall, Senju Fujima came to her side and picked her up directly. Fujima-kun, we passed. Uchiha Jing saw Senju Fujima holding her, her mouth slightly raised, and then she fainted. Fool. Seeing Uchiha Jing desperately, Senju Fujima's eyes flashed with a trace of heartache, and he used the palm fairy technique to treat her and recover. But this Uchiha Wei actually knows how to use crows. Could it be Uchiha Fugaku's father or grandfather? Senju Fujima thought about it, and saw that the illusion used by Uchiha Wei was basically very similar to Uchiha Itachi, and suddenly had such a guess. Uncle Wei, we'll go out first. Then Senju Fujima waved to Uchiha Wei, and then disappeared directly on the spot. Because Uchiha Wei is Uchiha Jing's uncle, if other people bullied his wife like this, they would have beaten him up long ago. These two children. Uchiha Wei smiled and shook his head, and the clone directly lifted Inuzuka Toku's water prison technique. Thank you, Master Wei. After Inuzuka Toku regained his freedom, he bowed directly to Uchiha Wei, and then turned and left. Then teams after teams began to take the test, and because of the cage-level strongmans let them go, they all passed easily. This time is to cultivate their ability to unite, and it is enough to achieve the goal, so the last assessment is a free-point question. Very good. Everyone performed very well today. Congratulations. You have all been promoted to Chunin of Konoha. Your strength has surpassed Chunin, so this time you will be promoted to Chunin as an exception. We have also prepared vests for you. You can get them later with your own name and size of clothes. Everyone has worked hard during this period. Let's relax and wait for orders. We in Konoha are about to go to war with other ninja villages, so I hope you can train well after you go back. As long as you train yourself well, you will have a better chance of survival on the battlefield. The survival rules of the ninja world are very cruel, I hope you understand it in your heart. If you who grew up in a greenhouse don't experience the cruel reality outside, then you will never grow up. After the assessment, Uchiha Madara took a piece of manuscript paper prepared by Uchiha Izuna and began to read. Are we all going to join the war? I have never been to the battlefield, so I don't know if those ninjas are strong or not. What's so strong about them? We are the most powerful in Konoha, and they are just trash. That's right, we were founded by the most powerful Uchiha clan and Senju clan. They are just some chickens and pottery dogs. That's right, what are the 4 ninja villages afraid of? I am not afraid of anything. I will just beat them up. Me too, I want to have a good fight too. Hearing what Uchiha Madara said, all the students smiled happily. They had never experienced war and did not know how terrible it was. So they were more eager for war and felt that war was not terrible in front of them. When that time really came, they might not think so. Okay, adjourn the meeting. Uchiha Madara saw that everyone below had started to whisper, and he shouted to everyone. Yes, everyone shouted loudly, and they were all very excited. High morale. Senju Hashirama saw the children below and raised his mouth slightly. None of us in Konoha is a coward, so we are naturally high-spirited. Let's confirm the departure time first. We can set off in about 2 days. The combat arrangements this time still need to be deployed, especially for the children. Although I want to train them, I don't want them to suffer too many casualties. If there are heavy casualties, then we will lose more than we gain. A hint of pride flashed in Uchiha Madara's eyes. He felt that the Konoha he and Senju Hashirama created was not wrong. It can protect both the village and the children in the village. He can control the casualties of the children when they go to war, which is the most important thing. Yeah, let's go. Senju Hashirama raised his mouth slightly, then stood up and turned to leave. Yeah, Uchiha Madara nodded and turned to leave. Jing, let's go. I'll take you to eat barbecue today. I heard that a barbecue restaurant has just opened recently, let me take you to try it. After everything was over, Senju Fujima came directly to Uchiha Jing, took her hand and ran out. Well, okay. Uchiha Jing smiled sweetly, and then the two of them walked directly to the newly opened barbecue restaurant. HMPH. Tetsukui saw Senju Fujima holding Uchiha Jing's hand and leaving, and a trace of malice flashed in his eyes, and he hated the Uchiha clan even more. I will definitely take back what I lost with my own hands. You all wait for me. Then Tikui walked directly to the room he was assigned. Stupid rabbit. Stupid rabbit. Huh, where's Stupid Rabbit? Strange, why is Stupid Rabbit gone? After Tikui returned to the room, he found that the stupid rabbit that was originally in the room was gone, and he couldn't find it after searching everywhere. Paper. Then Tikui saw a piece of paper on the table and walked over quickly. So you went home. Will you come to see me later? Okay then. Tikui saw the paper left by Heizetsu, which said that he would go home and come to see her later. A trace of loss flashed in her eyes. I am alone again. Mom, I miss you so much. After reading the note, Tikui sat on the stool next to her, supporting her delicate little head with both hands. Tears flashed in her eyes, full of longing. Mom, don't worry, I will definitely revive you, just wait for me. We will be together forever in the future, and I will never let anyone bully you again. Now I have the strength to protect myself. I have also opened the Mangekyo Sharingan, and when I grow up a few more years, I will be able to become someone like Uchiha Madara. Then I will never be bullied by others again, and I will definitely get everything I want. I will revive you at all costs. Wait for me, Mom. Finally, the look in Tikui's eyes, a trace of determination flashed in her eyes. She would do anything to revive her mother. Soon, 2 days passed. The next moment is the war. You should all be mentally prepared. Maybe death is waiting for us in the next second. Don't think this is alarmist. War is cruel, so you must kill the enemy at all costs. I don't care what method you use. My only requirement is that you all survive. Everyone, do you understand? At this time, Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama stood on the high platform, looking at the countless ninjas in front of them, and roared at everyone. We must win, we must win, we must win. All the Konoha ninjas raised their right hands and roared continuously. Very good, I will make some arrangements next. The 4 ninja villages will attack our Konoha. This time we are facing 4 ninja villages, so we must divide into 4 teams to go to the battlefield. The commander-in-chief of the first echelon is Senju Fujima and Sarutobi Sasuke, who are responsible for the battlefield of Sand Village, and this time they carry 1,500 ninjas. The commander-in-chief of the second echelon is Senju Hashirama, who is mainly responsible for the battlefield of Cloud Village and carries 1,500 ninjas. The commander-in-chief of the third echelon is Senju Tobarama, who is mainly responsible for the Mist Village and carries 1,500 ninjas. As for the third echelon, the commander-in-chief is me and Uchiha Izuna, who are mainly responsible for the battlefield of Rock Village and carry 1,000 ninjas. Everyone must come back alive. We have wives and children at home who need to be taken care of. I don't want to see your bodies coming back. I hope you can protect yourself while also completing our victory in this battle. Uchiha Madara, wearing the uniform of the first generation of Hokage, shouted loudly at the ninjas present. We will win, we will win, we will win. The fighting spirit of the Konoha ninjas was high. They fought for their village, their wives and children. To protect their village was to protect their children. They were determined to die, and none of them was a coward. Very good, now I declare, let's go. Everyone follow your commander-in-chief and set off. Uchiha Madara raised his eyebrows and roared at everyone present again. Yes, soon, the Konoha ninjas began to divide into 4 groups and walked out of Konoha village, constantly rushing to the battlefield. You must come back safely. Dad, I will wait for you to come back. Don't forget that you still have to come back to teach me ninjutsu. Mom and Dad, you must come back safely. Be careful on the road. On the road of Konoha village, countless villagers of Konoha village were standing on both sides. Their eyes were red, watching their husbands or parents rush to the battlefield. Each of them was full of reluctance and love in their eyes, and they shouted to the large group. In September of the first year of Konoha, the First Ninja World War broke out. The 4 major ninja villages of Sand Village, Cloud Village, Rock Village, and Mist Village each sent 4,000 ninja armies to attack Konoha, and Konoha began to fight back. The front is the Konoha border. Everyone be careful, don't panic. The Kurigakure gathered 4,000 troops and rushed directly to the Konoha border, led by their first-generation Mizukage Hakurin. Yes, a group of ninjas wearing Kurigakure forehead protectors rushed quickly to the Konoha border. The Kurigakure people go in front, the rest of you be careful, beware of traps. Because of the special nature of the Kurigakure, they were sent as a death squad and walked directly at the forefront. Yes, the Kurigakure people immediately walked to the front, because they have the water transformation technique, so being cannon fodder is the fastest and best decision. When they encounter danger, they will directly turn into a pool of water, unless it is a thunder escape, otherwise there is almost no harm to them. Bang bang bang. Sure enough, a group of Kurigakure ninjas walked in front, touched countless detonating tags, and exploded instantly. However, they were all perfectly avoided, and such attacks were of no use to them at all. Squeak, squeak. Brothers, charge. There's another fight to be had, ha 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 ha. Let the scum of Konoha see how powerful our Kagaya clan is. The Kagaya clan members, dancing with bone knives in their hands, rushed directly and quickly towards the border of Konoha. HMPH, a bunch of idiots. Bai Lian didn't care about them. They liked to fight, so let them go. The rest of you follow up, be careful and alert. The people of the Mizunatsuki clan are ready to attack Konoha with water escape. The assassination team quickly enters the battlefield, releases fog, and blocks the enemy's sight. Then Bai Lian directly issued one command after another. It must be said that although he doesn't know if he has the strength, this calm and cool mind is still quite useful. Are you here? I've been waiting for you for a long time. Is it finally time for me to show my skills? Ha ha. Senju Tobarama raised his lips slightly, and saw that the hidden mist village several miles away had rushed towards him, and a trace of disdain flashed in his eyes. Lord Tobarama, the other party is the first-generation Mizukage Byakuran, and he is leading 4,000 ninjas. We only have more than 1,500 people, and we are at a disadvantage in terms of numbers. A member of the route knelt on one knee in front of Senju Tobarama and reported the news he had found out. 4,000 people. It doesn't matter. You organize all the Jonin to intercept their Jonin. Let these children deal with the Chunins and Genins. As for the existence of the cage level, I will deal with it myself. Be careful, the route is responsible for guarding the children, don't let them cause too many casualties. Children are the hope of our Konoha's future. After listening, Senju Tobarama raised his mouth slightly, a trace of disdain flashed in his eyes, and then immediately ordered. Yes, Lord Tobarama. The route disappeared instantly and went down to make arrangements. Since you are all here, if I don't give you a gift, wouldn't it disappoint you? Ha ha. After the route left, Senju Tobarama raised his mouth slightly, and then disappeared instantly. When he appeared again, Senju Tobarama had already arrived outside the border. Two-tail chakra mode. Tailed beast jade. Instantly, a ball of blue chakra appeared on Senju Tobarama's body. This is the two-tail chakra mode. It is somewhat similar to the nine-tail chakra mode, but the color is slightly different. Then Senju Tobarama opened his mouth and began to condense the tailed beast jade instantly. Go. Puff. Senju Tobarama directly shot the tailed beast jade towards the ninja of the hidden mist village not far away, and all the ninjas who passed by the place was barren and in ruins. What is this? What a terrifying force, stop it quickly. Bai Lian frowned, and when he saw the tailed beast ball flying towards them, he felt a little scared, and then shouted to the ninja behind him. Water escape, waterfall technique. Water escape, water cannon air training. Ice escape, ice dragon roar. Water escape, water ball technique. In an instant, countless water escape and ice escape flew all over the sky, directly hitting the tailed beast ball. Bang bang bang. But countless water escape and ice escape did not have much effect, they just hit the tailed beast ball and deflected it. But fortunately, no one was injured or killed. The tailed beast ball flew directly to a farther place, directly to the sea, and there was a violent explosion. Boom boom boom. In an instant, the whole sea was set off by a tsunami, and the aftermath was extremely powerful, sweeping away countless trees. Hey, did you dodge it? Hee hee. The corner of Senju Tobarama's mouth slightly raised. Shuriken Shadow Clone Technique. Then a special kunai appeared in Senju Tobarama's hand, and then he released the Shuriken Shadow Clone Technique directly towards Bai Lian and others, and countless special kunai rushed towards the hidden mist village. HMPH, you want to kill us with kunai? You underestimate us too much, right? Ice release, ice shield 1000 books. Swish, swish, swish. Ding, ding, ding. Soon, countless special kunai were scattered on the ground casually, and the hidden mist village thought they had blocked the attack and rushed towards Senju Tobarama without fear. Protect Lord Tobarama, everyone charge. Junin, hold the opponent's Jonin, and the Chunin and Genin will be left to you. Charge. A member of the route shouted directly to the people of Konoha behind him. Kill. The war was about to start. Kill. The ninjas from the Hidden Mist Village and the Hidden Leaf Village collided with each other instantly, and countless ninjutsu such as water escape, fire escape, and ice escape flew on the battlefield. The assassination moment begins. The corner of Senju Tobarama's mouth slightly raised, a trace of murderous intent flashed in his eyes, and then the Thunder God appeared in his right hand and was instantly activated. Water escape technique. water clone technique. The next second, Senju Tobarama directly created 3 clones to block Bai Lian, Hazuka Genjutsu and Mizunatsuki Han, and he himself disappeared instantly. Ah, puff, when, so fast. Soon, a blue figure kept flashing on the battlefield, and after each flash, it would kill 1 or even more Kurigakur ninjas. And they didn't know how they died, and they didn't know until they died. What? How is it possible? Such a fast speed, what is this? Is this a space ninjutsu? Bai Lian fought with Senju Tobarama's water clone, because the water clone was wrapped in a ball of 2-tail chakra, so the combat power was extremely strong, not an ordinary water clone, which made him inseparable for a while. And Bai Lian saw the blue figures of Senju Tobarama, and instantly felt incredible, exclaimed. It's too late to know now. The corners of the water clone of Senju Tobarama's mouth curled up, and the speed of his hands became faster and faster, making Bai Lian miserable. After all, Bai Lian is already old, and half of his fighting power has been lost. He is really strong to be able to tie with Senju Tobarama, who has added the tailed beast coat. A quarter of an hour later, more than 1,000 corpses of Kurigakur ninjas appeared on the field, but they had no better way to deal with Senju Tobarama. Ha, kunai under your feet. At this time, Hazuka Wanyu seemed to have discovered the secret of Senju Tobarama. While fighting, he carefully observed and finally found that a special kunai would appear under the feet of every dead person. Everyone leave the range of kunai, leave immediately. Then Hazuka Wanyu roared directly at all the ninjas of Kurigakur. He discovered the secret of Senju Tobarama, so naturally he could not let him kill the ninjas of Kurigakur again. Oh, are you good? You can actually find my special kunai. You are much smarter than your first generation Mizukage. But do you think you can escape if you leave my attack range? The water clone of Senju Tobarama looked at Hazuka Wanyu in front of him, and his mouth corners slightly raised. Because of his strong perception ability, Hazuka Wanyu was extremely frustrated when fighting. And from time to time, he would use a few dark walk techniques, which made Hazuka Wanyu feel very tricky. Because their battlefield was in the middle of the battle between the two sides, he could not use the steam danger and violence at all, which made him even more frustrated. Water escape rain tiger free technique. Soon, Senju Tobarama also released a large piece of dark clouds, and it started to rain instantly. Ha, why is it raining? Ha ha, it's good to rain. After the rain, this place will become our home ground for the Hazuka clan, ha ha ha. That's right, this is very beneficial to us. God is really helping me. It can also make it easier for us to perform ice escape. We are really lucky. Soon, because of the sudden rain, all the Hazuka clan and Mizunatsuki clan felt excited. Because the rain is more beneficial to them, it is simply timely rain. Everyone is very happy and the speed of killing enemies has increased a lot. Really, in front of me, the god of the sea, you dare to say that this is your home ground? Ha 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 ha. Senju Tobarama heard everyone talking, his mouth corners slightly raised, and then disappeared instantly. Because the rain is rich in Senju Tobarama's chakra, he can clearly sense everyone's movements, including the ninjas of Konoha who may be killed in the next second, but he can go to rescue immediately. But all this was considered to be a favorable situation for the Mizunatsuki clan and the Kazuki clan. What, I clearly don't have a kunai under my feet. A Kurigakur ninja who was killed inexplicably felt incredible. He clearly didn't have a kunai under his feet, so why did he still die? But he didn't think about it for too long, and he lost consciousness and died forever. Water flash body technique. Then Senju Tobarama disappeared again on the spot, and when he appeared again, he had already started to make hand seals. Immortal reincarnation. In an instant, Senju Tobarama gathered the blood of all the people he had just killed, and knocked out many Kurigakur ninjas with his hands, and then used them as sacrifices to perform the immortal reincarnation technique. Bang bang bang. Soon, coffins appeared on the field one after another. Those Kurigakur ninjas who had just died had not yet entered the underworld, but they were directly then he was pulled back and summoned again. How did I come back to life? Didn't I die? A member of the Mizunatsuki clan was a little confused. He was clearly dead, so how could he come back to life? Then more dead ninjas from the Hidden Mist village began to come back to life. It's your turn to go to the battlefield, hee hee. After this period of experimentation, Senju Tobarama has been able to perfectly use the impure world reincarnation technique, thanks to the help of the two tails, which has made his research on the soul more profound. And people who are resurrected by the impure world reincarnation can retain about 70% to 80% of their original combat power, which is very powerful. Of course, this still requires the strength of the sacrifice. It is not possible to directly summon an impure world reincarnation person with 80% of his strength by using DNA like Senju Fujima. Bing, aren't you dead? How come you are alive again? Ghost. Many ninjas from the Hidden Mist village felt a chill in their hearts when they saw the dead people they had just seen come back to life again. Now, start your performance. All Konoha ninjas, retreat. Senju Tobarama directly controlled dozens of reincarnated Kurigakure ninjas to rush towards Kurigakure. And shouted to the Konoha ninjas around him. Yes. After hearing this, the Konoha ninjas quickly gave up their opponents and retreated cautiously. Ice escape, ice dragon blast. Water escape, water bubble air training. Soon, Senju Tobarama controlled the Kurigakure ninjas to release ninjutsu and killed Kurigakure. How is it possible? Wake up, you hit the wrong person. Ice, wake up, you killed the wrong person. Countless friends who were reincarnated shouted at them. Don't worry about me, attack, kill us, we can't control ourselves, kill us. That's right, we can't control ourselves at all, kill us, we can't control ourselves at all. Don't worry about us, kill us. Dozens of reincarnated Kurigakure ninjas shouted at their former companions, asking them to kill them. Die. Soon, everyone realized that they were all controlled by Senju Tobarama, and they had no choice but to kill their former companions and rushed forward. Sorry, Bing. A Kurigakure ninja appeared next to the impure world reincarnation Mizunatsuki Bing and stabbed him with a sword. Puff. How is it possible? The ninja suddenly found that his attack was useless, and the damage to Mizunatsuki Bing was instantly restored. Moreover, he thought he had succeeded and relaxed his vigilance, and was directly killed by the impure world reincarnation Bing. At the same time, dozens of Kurigakure ninjas like him were all killed. What? They can't be killed at all. What's going on? I can't do it. Everyone continue and see, they can definitely be killed. The people of Kurigakure were obviously unconvinced and attacked again, but the result was still the same. Even if they died, they could be resurrected quickly and could not die at all. Steam danger and violent power. At this moment, Hazuka Wanyu instantly used his own special move, created a fat clone, and flew directly to the side of these reincarnated Kurigakure ninjas. Bang, bang, bang. Soon, countless steam exploded, instantly blowing dozens of reincarnated people to pieces. However, resurrecting again the next second was of no use at all. It seems that they can only be sealed. Sir Mizukage, let's retreat first. These people can't be beaten or killed. We must find a way to seal them, otherwise we can't kill them at all. We don't have any sealing ninjas with us now. Hazuka Wanyu released steam danger and violent power, feeling a little weak, came to Bai Lian and said softly. Yes, in that case, the whole army will retreat 30 miles. The first generation Mizukage frowned, looking at the dozens of filthy ninjas in front of him, and he also wanted to retreat. Because there is no good solution now, he can only retreat first, and then talk about other things. Retreat, quickly, go. Then the first generation Mizukage ordered the remaining 2,000 or so ninjas of the Hidden Mist village to retreat directly behind them. The first time the Hidden Mist village led 4,000 troops to attack, half of them were lost, and only 2,000 troops left in disgrace. We won. Long live Lord Tobarama. The surviving Konoha ninjas looked at Senju Tobarama with fanatical eyes, cheering non-stop. Senju Tobarama saw the cheers of the Konoha ninjas, and the corners of his mouth slightly raised. This time it was a comprehensive victory, and it gave a group of little guys a full exercise. This technique is still very powerful. It is still very good as a weapon of war. This time, collect more DNA of strong people, maybe it can be used later. Senju Tobarama did not chase the ninjas of the Hidden Mist village, but directly took everyone back to the camp. And these people who were reborn from the impure world reincarnation were directly asked to guard outside and patrol. Sir, we still need to think about this matter in the long run. The strength of the opposite Senju Tobarama is too strong, and his space ninjutsu makes us unable to defend at all. We don't think we have any chance of winning against him. This is not a one-on-one fight. We must ensure the safety of our ninjas. The ninjas behind us are our shortcomings and our weaknesses. I don't recommend continuing the battle. This battle is extremely disadvantageous to us. Hokatsuki frowned and shook his head at Bai Lian beside him. HMPH, are you scared by such a small battle? Huan Yu, you must remember that you are my future successor. If you don't dare to confront Konoha head-on, then who will lead our Kurigakur to become stronger after I die? We just didn't know his strength before, but now we know that the means he has is space ninjutsu. We just need to prevent his space ninjutsu, and then directly freeze the rain he arranged, so that the Mizunatsu clan can freeze it with all their strength. I don't know how he can perform his space ninjutsu without water. Send someone to the sealing team immediately. As long as all those who can't be killed are sealed, everything will be fine. Don't keep boosting others' ambitions and destroying your own prestige. We in Kurigakur have never needed to be afraid of others, nor do we need to be servile to anyone. If we retreat this time, it means we have failed. If we fail, we will have to pay compensation to Konoha. This is not a small amount of money. You have to think it through. Quote, our Kurigakur has just been established not long ago. We absolutely cannot experience such a failure. At least, I won't allow it. Bai Lian frowned. He refused to admit defeat. He thought that the reason why he and others failed before was entirely because they didn't understand Tobirama Senju. But now that we understand Tobirama Senju's ability, there is no need to be afraid of him. It will be enough to prevent this at that time. Giden Wanyu frowned, and it was hard to say anything. What Bai Lian said was not entirely wrong. They had just established Kurigakur and could not allow failure. Otherwise, the Kurigakur, which had been built with great effort, would likely fall apart. Okay, Wanyu, go down and prepare. Send someone to pay close attention to Konoha's movements and don't let them sneak attack. Quote, this time we didn't know enough about the enemy. They won't be so lucky next time. Bai Lian felt pain in his heart. Losing half of the ninjas at once would make anyone sad. Yes, Shodaime-sama. Hokatsuki had no choice but to follow Bai Lian's instructions. He was the Shodaime after all. As the sand village in front of us. Hehe, this vast desert is really spectacular, but it lacks some green plants and looks too desolate. At this time, Senju Fujima had already brought a large army to the border between Konoha and Sand Village. Looking at the wind and sand not far away, the corners of his mouth rose slightly. Fujima, it is estimated that Sand Village will arrive in another hour. You will be behind me later. Don't be stubborn. Quote, as the patriarch of the Yuanfei family, Sarutobi Sasuke is naturally very powerful, but facing the first generation of Sand Village, he feels a little bit tricky. After all, he is not a pervert like Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara. It is still difficult for him to defeat the first generation Kazekage who has a special bloodline limit head-on. Chief Sarutobi, I know this, but you don't have to worry, my strength is not to be underestimated. Otherwise, Dad and Uncle Madara wouldn't let me come with you. Don't worry, they are no match for me at all, hehe. The corners of Senju Fujima's mouth slightly raised, and a trace of disdain flashed in his eyes in the direction of the sand village in front of him. You kid, don't be careless. This is a battlefield, everything should be done carefully, and you can't be careless at all. Although Sarutobi Sasuke has heard that Senju Fujima is powerful, he has never seen it after all. Even if he awakens would release, he is still a child in his eyes and still needs protection. So Sarutobi Sasuke teaches Senju Fujima as an elder, telling him not to be proud and complacent on the battlefield. Hehe, I understand. Senju Fujima smiled, and then looked at the group of recruits behind the team. At this time, the future F4 of Konoha also followed Senju Fujima and followed the large army. I will assign tasks to you guys. Sarutobi Hiruzen, Mito Kato-en, Udatain Kaharu, the three of you will be a small team. Shimura Danzo, Hanfang, and Nayuki will be a small team. Quote. Soon, all the more than 40 people brought here were divided into 3-person teams. Let them fight in small teams, so that the survival rate will be higher. Yes, everyone shouted loudly, and they were eager to go to the battlefield and see the world. They had never been to the battlefield before, and this was the first time, and they were very excited. HMPH, Senju Fujima, you wait for me. When I become stronger, I will make sure you die without a burial place. Don't be happy too soon. Captain Shimura frowned, seeing Senju Fujima's arrogant look, seeing him giving orders, remembering everything he did to him at that time, remembering the moment when he was humiliated, his killing intent became stronger. HMPH, Danzo. You dare to show your killing intent to me. Today is the day you die, hee. Senju Fujima raised the corner of his mouth slightly. Danzo actually wanted to kill him, then there was no need for him to exist. Although such an opponent is rubbish, there is always a rubbish looking at him every day, which must make him uncomfortable. So he decided to kill Danzo directly today, so that he could relieve his worries in the future. It would be better to kill him earlier so that he would not be worried about Danzo every day in the future and make him restless. All this was in Senju Fujima's mind. An hour later. The front is Konoha. If we defeat Konoha, we will get more resources. Then our life in Sand Village will get better and better. Everyone listen to my command, charge. Lidu was suspended in the sky, and a wisp of fine sand appeared under his feet, holding him up in the air, commanding everyone to rush directly to the Konoha position. Charge. Kill all the ninjas in Konoha, and those resources will be ours, charge. Kill the people of Konoha, let them see how powerful our Sand Village is. Ha ha ha, what Senju clan, what Uchiha clan, brothers, our highlight moment has come, charge. What is the most powerful family in the ninja world, let them see that they are nothing in front of our Sand Village. Soon, a group of fanatical Sand Village ninjas attacked the border of Konoha directly. They are coming in force. It looks like there should be more than 5,000 people. Senju Fujima looked at the dark mass in front of him, his mouth corners slightly raised, his eyes full of mockery. The first generation of Kazekage has a special blood limit, we can't help but be careful. Sarutobi Sasuke frowned, looking at the dark mass in front of him, he couldn't help but feel a little worried. Yeah, Senju Fujima nodded slightly, and he was quite appreciative of Sarutobi Sasuke's serious attitude towards the enemy. A lion will use all its strength to fight a rabbit, not to mention that we are still at a disadvantage in terms of numbers. Except for the pervert Senju Fujima, the others don't have much advantage against the Sand Village. As for these little brats, although they are powerful, they lack combat experience and can't play their due strength at all. Ready the detonating tags, shoot them. Sarutobi Sasuke frowned as he watched the approaching Sand Village ninjas, then he stretched out his right hand and waved it. Yes, swish, swish, swish. Soon, countless shurikens were tied with detonating tags, throw it directly towards the direction of the Sand Village. HMPH, a trifle. Sand shield, defense. Retsu clapped his hands, and countless sand flew into the air continuously, and then formed a huge sand wall. Dang dang dang, bang bang bang. Instantly, countless detonating tags were directly inserted into the sand wall, and then began to explode. The violent explosion directly blew the sand wall into pieces. Special bloodline limit. Sand escape. Is it the same as Gaara's? It's a good ability. No wonder you can directly reorganize the entire Sand Village. This kind of sand escape is of no use to me at all. You want to attack Konoha with just your sand escape. Who gave you the courage? Senju Fujima raised the corner of his mouth slightly, looking at Retsu floating in the air, with a flash of contempt in his eyes. Rito can control countless sands with his sand release. He is very powerful, and the sand is hard to defend against. You should be careful. As expected of the first Kazekage, his strength is still very good. Compared to me, he is not much inferior. Sarutobi Sasuke saw Rito's strength, and a trace of admiration flashed in his eyes. If the two of them fought one-on-one, their strength would be almost the same. Everyone get ready. The Jonin will directly find the other Jonin to fight, and the Chunin will fight the Chunin and Genin. Charge. Senju Fujima wanted to kill Danzo this time, and it was impossible for him to use wood release as soon as he went up, so that his strategy would not work. So he directly let people press on. Didn't this opportunity come? Wait until Danzo dies, and then use wood release to clear the field directly, why not? Charge. All the Konoha ninjas heard what Senju Fujima said, and they all rushed out. This included all the newly graduated Chunins, who all rushed towards the battlefield with great enthusiasm. Multiple shadow clone technique. Bang, bang, bang. Instantly, Senju Fujima directly created thousands of shadow clones and rushed directly towards the battlefield. Because of the addition of Senju Fujima's shadow clones, the two sides became closer in manpower. This kid, Sarutobi Sasuke, saw Senju Fujima use the multiple shadow clone technique, and his eyes flashed with shock and helplessness. Humph, do you think you are amazing just because you have a lot of chakra? I will definitely find a way to deal with you. Senju Fujima. Danzo frowned, then directly held the kunai in his hand and rushed towards the sand village. Wind style, wind blade. Wind style, breakthrough. Wind style, vacuum ball. Instantly, the battle was about to break out. Wind style, kunai. Danzo held the kunai in his hand, and instantly injected wind attribute chakra into the kunai to increase the sharpness of the kunai, and rushed directly towards the sand ninja in front of him. Puppet technique, blade manipulation. The sand ninja in front of Danzo directly took out two puppets, and then quickly played with both hands, as if playing the piano. Ka ka ka. The puppet instantly moved, continuously ejecting countless kunai, with many chakra lines on the kunai, rushing towards Danzo. Puppetry. So he's a puppeteer, that makes it even easier. Wind escape shuriken. Before coming, Danzo had already studied how to deal with puppetry, and instantly took out two kunai, poured chakra directly into them, and rushed towards the puppet. The rapidly rotating kunai, with endless wind attribute chakra on the surface, was very sharp, and it spun directly towards the puppetry. Puff puff puff. Soon, many chakra lines were directly cut by the rotating kunai, but because there were too many, they were still not all cut. After all, chakra lines are almost invisible to the naked eye, so the countermeasures developed by Danzo are still useless. If only I had a pair of Sharingan. Danzo saw the countless kunai still flying towards him, frowned, and then quickly dodged, desperately wanting a pair of Sharingan. Puppet secret technique, flame bomb. Puppet technique saw Danzo dodging constantly, raised the corner of his mouth slightly, and danced his hands quickly. Then the two puppets beside him directly sprayed endless flames from the jet tubes extending from their palms, heading towards Danzo. Wind style, big breakthrough. Danzo used wind style to blow away the flames. Boom, but who knew that the wind fueled the fire and turned it into a bigger flame directly towards him? What the hell, what's going on? Danzo didn't understand, but he didn't have time to think about it, and left with a substitute technique. Boom. Soon, the substitute technique on the spot was burned to ashes by the flames. Wind escape, vacuum great ball. Then Danzo took a deep breath and blew out a huge air cannonball from his mouth, heading directly for the puppet. Puppet secret technique, shield. The puppeteer instantly controlled the puppet to open the shield behind it, and turned around to block Danzo's wind escape. Bang, crackle. Soon, the first puppet technique couldn't resist and was smashed into ruins. But the puppet behind quickly rushed towards Danzo, and at the same time, the puppet technique took out a scroll from its body again and opened another puppet directly. It's such a troublesome thing, I can't get in at all. If you can't get in against the puppet technique, you can only passively take the beating. Danzo frowned, not expecting the puppeteer on the opposite side to be so powerful, and seemed to have predicted all his attacks, and muttered in his heart. Wind escape. Just when Danzo wanted to launch another wind escape attack, a cold voice suddenly came into his ears. You have no chance. Punch. Puff. A kunai pierced Danzo's heart, causing him to spit out blood. A trace of doubt and anger flashed in his eyes, as well as a trace of reluctance to leave the world. Sand village. Ninja killed Danzo, and then disappeared on the spot, and Danzo's body died of laughter. Danzo, all of you go to hell. When Danzo's two supporting teammates saw Danzo being killed, they felt angry instantly. They didn't know where they got the strength, and they directly killed the nearby sand village ninjas. But Danzo and his body had already disappeared. Ha ha. Senju Fujima raised the corner of his mouth slightly, and today's plan had been completed. HMPH, Sarutobi Sasuke. As the head of your clan, are you willing to be a lackey of Konoha? How ridiculous, disgusting. Rito looked at Sarutobi Sasuke in front of him, with a flash of disdain in his eyes. He didn't expect this clan leader, willing to be someone else's lackey, hurriedly mocked before the battle. HMPH, Reto, if you retreat now, I can spare your life. Sarutobi Sasuke frowned, staring at Reto in the air with his eyes fixed, his face full of indifference. Do you think I can be killed whenever you want? Sarutobi Sasuke, you think too highly of yourself, don't you? Even if the two of you Shogakage come together, I'm not afraid. You still dare to threaten me? With my strength, aren't you going to be a Hokage? A scumbag who can't even be a Kage actually threatens to defeat me. Ha ha ha. This may be the funniest joke I've ever heard, right? Ha ha ha. Reto was naturally very proud of being the first Kage. When he heard Sarutobi Sasuke actually saying he wanted to kill him, as if killing him was as easy as killing a dog, how could he not be angry? Pucci. Retsu's words instantly made Senju Fujima laugh, and a hint of teasing flashed in his eyes. Boy, what are you laughing at? A little brat looks down on me. You Konoha is great, really great. Die, Sandfall funeral. Retsu saw that Senju Fujima dared to laugh at him, and instantly became furious. He waved his hand directly, and countless sand instantly wrapped Senju Fujima. Humph, if that's the case, then you can't blame me. Do you think that anyone who becomes a Kage will be invincible in the world? If it's Hashirama and Uchiha Madara, I admit it, but you're not qualified. Sarutobi Sasuke was not worried about Senju Fujima at all, and looked at Retsu and snorted coldly. Spirit summons, Monkey King, Monkey Demon, come out. Bang! Instantly, Monkey Demon came out, wearing Konoha's forehead protector, biting a peach in his mouth. Ha, Sasuke, how come you have time to call me out? Why are you fighting? Another war. Sarutobi ate the big peach in his hand and looked around, a little confused. Well, the ninja world war has begun. Sarutobi, transform, Vajra Rui Rod. Sarutobi Sasuke nodded slightly, then looked at Sarutobi. Oh, okay. The demon instantly transformed, threw away the peach in his hand, and turned into a diamond stick. Bang! The place where Senju Fujima was originally exploded directly, and the strong pressure directly squeezed him, but at this time he had already fled the scene, and the place where he was just a piece of wood. Run away. The speed is good, I will deal with Sarutobi Sasuke first, and then kill you, Flowing sand waterfall. In an instant, Retsu used a large-scale sand escape directly covering the entire battlefield. Ah, I'm going to be swept down. Help, save me. A mudslide suddenly appeared. What's going on? Due to the wide range of Retsu's application, many Konoha ninjas almost didn't react and were carried away by the rolling sand. HMPH. Water Escape Technique. Water Dragon Bullet Technique. Earth Escape Technique. Earth Dragon Technique. Earth Escape Technique. Earth Flowing River. Instantly, Sarutobi Hiruzen used 3 ninjutsu in succession, and the speed of forming seals was extremely fast, which made people dazzled. Instantly, 3 ninjutsu were released directly. Such speed is really rare. At this moment, Retsu found that the sand escape field he had originally released was actually changed by Sarutobi Hiruzen and turned into a pool of mud. He could not control it instantly. Because the sand had been mixed with mud, the rolling sand stopped far away. And there was also a water dragon and an earth dragon rushing towards him. HMPH. Sand Shigur. Sand Shield. Instantly, Retsu directly controlled the sand to form a shield in front of him, and then countless huge sand and stones appeared directly above Sarutobi Sasuke's head, and sand also appeared under his feet to directly grab him. HMPH. Sarutobi Sasuke instantly swung the golden Rui stick in his hand, smashing the sand and gravel above his head, and then gently swung it to directly break the sand that bound his feet. Water Stream Earth Bomb. I saw that a water dragon and an earth dragon that were originally rushing towards Retsu instantly merged to form a huge mudslide, flying high into the sky, directly wrapping Retsu's sand shield. And quickly crawled towards Retsu. Retsu frowned when he saw the mudslide rushing over, and then directly controlled the sand to pull himself away. Sand Style. Sand Needle Technique. Countless sand and gravel condensed into needles and rushed directly towards Sasuke Sarutobi. Ding ding ding. Sarutobi Hiruzen swung the Rui stick in his hand again and rotated quickly to block the sand needles. Sand Escape. Sand Column, roll. The corner of Lidu's mouth slightly raised, and then he condensed the sand into a huge cylinder, and then quickly pressed it towards the Konoha ninjas present. HMPH. You are too slow, let me do it. Wood escape secret technique, tree world birth. Senju Fujima couldn't stand it anymore. You hit me too slowly, let me do it myself. Senju Fujima clapped his hands, and countless small trees broke out of the ground in an instant. After absorbing chakra, they grew rapidly and turned into towering trees. After a while, the area within a radius of several miles was covered by trees. And these trees seemed to have eyes, which could perfectly avoid all Konoha ninjas and directly trapped one after another of the Sand Village ninjas in them. Countless vines began to capture the Sand Village ninjas, and the speed was so fast that more than 5,000 Sand Village ninjas were trapped, and only a few shadow-level strongmen escaped instantly with the instant body flickering technique. Ah, what the hell is this? My chakra is being absorbed. I feel weak all over, my chakra, ah. What kind of ninjutsu is this? It's so scary, why does such a ninjutsu exist? Wood release. Is this the rumored wood release? Isn't this the legendary blood limit that only the first-generation Deputy Hokage possesses? I can't move, who will save me, but my chakra is being absorbed quickly. Soon, more than 5,000 sand villagers were trapped in an instant, which directly overturned Reto's 3 views. He stood in the air with his eyes wide open. What a wonderful chakra, hee. There are so many more chakra pills, so nice, I really like this kind of battle. Because he absorbed the chakra of more than 5,000 ninjas, Senju Fujima instantly had thousands of chakra pills in his hands, and he was so happy in his heart. I didn't expect that you can use wood release at such a young age. But do you really think you can defeat me like this? You are too naive. Sandfall Burial. Rito frowned and used the wood release in front of him, his ultimate move. Instantly, the entire battlefield that was originally covered by Retsu began to shake violently. Oh, you don't seem to care much about the life and death of your men. The corner of Senju Fujima's mouth slightly raised. If Retsu really released this ninjutsu, all the ninjas on the ground would be directly involved and attacked indiscriminately. HMPH, it's worth it to drag you down with me. Die. Retsu didn't actually want to do this, he just wanted to force Senju Fujima to stop, otherwise he didn't mind letting everyone be buried with him. This is called retreating by advancing. It must be said that Retsu still has the courage, and he is worthy of being a strong man who can sit on the first generation of Kazekage. Fujima, he should just want to exchange one life for another. This large-scale damage is difficult to crack. It's best not to provoke him first. Sarutobi Sasuke frowned. Such a large-scale attack is likely to cause both sides to lose. Haha, really? Water escape sea reclamation technique. The corners of Senju Fujima's mouth slightly raised, and his hands suddenly slammed on the ground. Boom boom boom. Instantly, endless sea water was summoned by Senju Fujima, and the area within a radius of dozens of miles was instantly covered by the vast ocean, and all the sand was instantly soaked. And many Konoha ninjas jumped directly onto the trees to avoid the sea water. Occasionally, a few who didn't have time to dodge were also rolled up by Senju Fujima's trees. This instantly made Retsu's sand lose its effect. Because the sand became very heavy, he needed more chakra to control it, but the chakra on his body was not enough. What? Can you actually summon such a huge amount of seawater? Retsu instantly felt that the sand he controlled became extremely heavy, his face was gloomy and terrible, and his eyes stared at Senju Fujima. He never thought that the biggest boss of Konoha was actually a 10-year-old kid. What moves do you have now? Feel free to use them. But I'm telling you this. Every minute and every second that we're talking, the chakra of the people under your command will be continuously absorbed by me. They will be dead by then. Senju Fujima raised his mouth slightly, looking at Retsu in front of him with a playful look. What? Absorbing chakra. This wood escape is so powerful. And this Senju Fujima actually has such a huge chakra, and can directly use such a wide range of water escape. Am I really not as good as Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara? I can't even beat a little brat from their Konoha. Why, I am the first generation of Kazekage. Retsu was extremely angry. He didn't know why he lost, and lost so miserably. What do you want? Retsu frowned, watching Senju Fujima slowly, with endless murderous intent flashing in his eyes. How is it? Simple, kowtow to me 3 times, then declare your submission to our Konoha, and go to Konoha to discuss the war compensation this time. The rest, let's discuss it when we return to Konoha. Senju Fujima's mouth corners slightly raised, seeing that Ritsudo no longer had the arrogant look before, he simply stated his request. What, you actually want me to kneel down and kowtow? Ritsudo didn't expect Senju Fujima to say such a thing. He was a first generation after all, and he actually asked him to kneel down directly. This was simply a humiliation. How could he agree to such a humiliation? His face flushed instantly, and he pointed at him. Shodai-sama, don't worry about us, go. Yes, Shodai-sama, you can't kneel down because of us, we would rather die than surrender. Shodai-sama, go away, don't worry about us, Konoha actually dared to humiliate us like this, it's simply too abominable. Soon, the trapped sand village ninjas also heard Senju Fujima's unreasonable request, and they all showed great anger. If they asked their cage to kowtow and admit their mistakes, wouldn't that be a disgrace to their sand village? Noisy. Senju Fujima frowned, and then waved his hand directly. In an instant, countless trapped sand village ninjas were directly sealed with wooden bars. They could no longer speak, and could only mumble and say some inaudible words. Tell me your decision. Your decision is about their life and death. In the next second, they may be killed by me directly. This is also more than 5,000 lives. If you don't save them, I don't know how many 5,000 people there are in your village. Hehe. Senju Fujima raised his mouth slightly and threatened Retsu. Retsu was miserable and helpless. He was really in a dilemma now. Sir, you can declare defeat, but you must not kowtow. At this moment, 10 puppets suddenly appeared in the sky, and a heavy voice came over. This person is the future second-generation Kazekage, shaman. Oh, the 10 Kinmatsu. You are shaman, right? Your puppetry has no effect on me, so put it away. Otherwise, I can't guarantee that you will die in the next second. Senju Fujima frowned, and saw Shaman appear and stopped his plan, and he felt a little unhappy. HMPH, then you give it a try. My shaman created the 10 Kinmatsu clan, which can destroy a country. I want to see the wood release of your Senju clan. Although Shaman knew that he was no match for Senju Fujima, he had to be full of momentum. Now they were in the time of negotiation and could not show any fear. It seems that if I don't give them some ruthless moves, they don't know how powerful I am. Do you think I'm just trying to scare you? It's ridiculous. Seeing Shaman's desperate look, Senju Fujima was very unhappy. HMPH, if you don't accept my toast, you will be punished. Then let you see what the power of God is. Senju, wood release, true thousand hands. Senju Fujima instantly put his hands together, opened the senjutsu in seconds, and used the true thousand hands directly. Boom boom boom. Instantly, the ground shook, and a 1,000-handed Buddha statue hundreds of feet tall appeared in front of all the ninjas. What? Great, such a strong and terrifying aura. Is this the aura I felt when I was with Hashirama Senju? I couldn't feel it clearly because I was too far away at that time. It's right beside me now. I feel such a strong aura that makes me tremble all over. The monk saw a huge 1,000-armed Buddha statue suddenly appear in front of him, and instantly felt his whole body trembling slightly, his eyes full of fear. What? Fujima can actually use the 1,000 hands. This is Hashirama's ultimate move. Even Madara has to be careful with it. I didn't expect that this kid not only has a huge amount of chakra in his body, but also has learned all the abilities of his father. What a terrifying talent. Sarutobi Sasuke was also very shocked. He didn't expect that the 1,000 hands Fujima in front of him was so powerful. Just looking at the aura of the 1,000 hands Buddha statue can make countless people tremble. Even all the Sand Village ninjas controlled by Wood Release saw it, and everyone showed endless fear, but they couldn't speak. Some timid ones even wet their pants directly. After all, many genin have never been on the battlefield. Seeing such a terrifying existence, it is normal to be scared to pee. He hasn't even used his full strength yet. How is this possible? Why can a little brat like him have such powerful strength? Why? Redo screamed madly in his heart, his eyes bloodshot, staring at Senju Fujima. I'll give you another chance. If you don't agree, then there's no need for it to exist. Even your sand village doesn't need to exist. Senju Fujima controlled the Thousand Hands Buddha statue to stretch out his hands, directly grabbed Shaman and Reto in his hands, and directly crushed the 10 Kinmatsu clan, looking at the two coldly and said, "But, I can't move. What kind of power is this? My chakra is losing like crazy, but..." Shaman and Reto were caught in an instant, and they didn't even have a chance to escape. Although the 1,000 hands were so huge, the speed of stretching out their hands was very fast, and it was not easy for ordinary people to dodge. Not to mention that after being captured, Senju Fujima was still absorbing their chakra, and they couldn't break free at all. And thousands of ninjas from the Sand Village could only watch their shadows being captured, and endless despair flashed in their eyes. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.